After a moment, Piccolo, who had been stalling for time to help Goku and the others, had completely run out of energy. He collapsed to the ground, covered in injuries, unsure whether he was dead or alive. On the other side, Krillin climbed out of a pile of rubble in a sorry state. Trembling all over, he stood still as if petrified. Looking at the 3 androids in front of him, completely unscathed, all he felt was shock. These androids seemed even stronger than rumored. Even when Piccolo had fought with all his strength, he was no match for them. And Krillin's attempts to stop Android 18 had been in vain as well. All his attacks were easily dodged, and he was even sent flying with a flick of her finger. He almost thought he was going to die. Damn it, is the Earth going to be destroyed? Krillin felt a surge of unwillingness. At that moment, Android 17 and Android 18 approached. Android 17 glanced at Piccolo lying on the ground and turned to Android 16, asking, "Android 16, what do we do now? Goku and the others escaped because of these two. Should we kill them?" Android 16 shook his head and said, "No need. We were created for the sole purpose of killing Goku and Tights. There's no need to do anything extra. I have already detected Goku's location. They went back to West City. Let's go after them." "Alright." "What?" Upon hearing their conversation, Krillin was dumbfounded. "You want kill us?" Android 17 turned his head and pointed at Android 16, saying, "Didn't you hear him? Our goal is only Goku and Tights. We're not interested in anyone else." He gestured to Piccolo on the ground and said to Krillin, "He's still alive. Give him a senzu bean, and hell be fine." Saying that, Android 17 lifted his foot and started heading towards West City. "Wait!" Krillin snapped out of his daze and shouted at them, Who are you people? What is your purpose? Do you want to take over the Earth or seek revenge for Dr. Gero?" Android 17 and the others glanced at each other and smiled. "Take over the Earth? Dr. Gero? What are you talking about? Isn't it true? Aren't you Dr. Gero's androids?" Krillin questioned. "Of course not. We were created by someone using the computer in the Red Ribbon Army's secret base," explained Android 17. "Someone? Who?" Krillin asked. Android 17 shrugged, "We don't know. In any case, the computer programmed us to kill Goku and Tights and seek revenge for the Red Ribbon Army." Krillin furrowed his brow, "What if you accomplish your goal?" "If we accomplish our goal, well, just find a place to enjoy ourselves. In order to become androids, we've been asleep for many years, after all. That's the situation. Hurry and give Piccolo a senzu bean, or hell really die." Android 17 gestured goodbye and then flew away. "Goodbye, don't come and throw away your life next time." Android 18 smiled and kissed Krillin on the cheek before chasing after Android 17 with 16. After they left, Krillin realized that Android 17 and the others had not flown for long before reaching the outskirts of West City. However, at that moment, Android 16 suddenly said, "Goku's location has changed again." "Changed again?" "Yes, he's gone over there." Android 16 pointed in a direction. "According to the data, that should be the location of Korin Tower. Maybe he went there to get the senzu beans." Android 17, "According to the computer data, it seems that Goku and Tights can teleport. It won't be easy to find them," Android 18 said. "That's why I thought of taking a hostage first." Android 16, "Where is Bulma?" "Also over at Korin Tower." Analyzed Android 16. "But her location is higher up in Korin Tower. She must have gone to Lookout. They're taking precautions, huh?" Android 17 scratched his head, thinking, and then said, "By the way, what about Goku's wife? Is she still at home?" "She is." Android 16 pointed in another direction. "Over there, it'll take half an hour to fly there from here." "Half an hour? I see, then let's look for a car and go there." Android 17 suggested. A car. Yeah, it will be fun to take our time. That little Baldy's words reminded me that if we kill Goku and Tights too soon, we won't have any purpose left. It's more enjoyable to take our time. Android 17 laughed. You still retain some human personality, don't you? Android 18 pursed her lips but didn't object. And so, the three of them began to leisurely wander around West City. Meanwhile, on lookout. After Goku brought Krillin and Piccolo back, everyone had temporarily settled here. Then, Goku took out a cloth bag and took out senzu beans he obtained from Korin. He gave one to Vegeta and one to Piccolo. Instantly, both of them made a full recovery. After awakening, the two of them had different expressions. Vegeta had a grim expression, while Piccolo seemed burdened with heavy thoughts. Suddenly, Vegeta roared in anger, his violent and furious aura swirling like a raging storm. Then, he shot up into the sky and disappeared on the other side of the horizon. Vegeta. Bulma wanted to stop him but was too late. Let him go, Bulma. Vegeta was defeated by a female android this time, and the blow he received wasn't light, Yamcha explained. Upon hearing this, Bulma sighed. As someone close to Vegeta, she naturally understood his pride and arrogance. He had finally broken through the limits of a Super Saiyan and reached a new level, only to be mercilessly beaten by a woman. How could he swallow this humiliation? That Vegeta Goku sighed. As his longtime rival, he could also understand Vegeta's feelings. However, now was not the time to lose their temper. Androids were approaching, and they had to figure out what to do. Bulma, where is Miss Tights right now? She's probably traveling in space. Big brother Lin Chen took future Trunks somewhere to train, and with nothing to do, she left Planet Vegeta, Bulma replied. Alright, then. I'll go to Planet Vegeta first and inform them about the situation with the androids. Just as Goku was about to leave, Krillin suddenly shouted, Goku, wait. I have something to tell you. Krillin, can't it wait until I come back? No, it's about the androids, actually. Krillin proceeded to tell Goku about the questions he had asked the androids earlier. Upon hearing this, everyone was shocked. They're not the androids created by Dr. Gero. It's unbelievable. Red Ribbon Army's secret base. How many years has it been? Red Ribbon Army still has an operational secret base. Besides Dr. Gero, is there someone else researching androids? Who could it be? After discussing for a while, the group couldn't come up with an answer. Goku shook his head and said, well, regardless, let's first inform Planet Vegeta about this. With that, Goku instantly teleported to Planet Vegeta and returned to Earth several minutes later. After his return, Goku said, alright, my dad already knows about the situation here. He said he would contact brother Lin Chen. But before brother Lin Chen comes to Earth, I want to try and deal with these androids on my own. Goku, what's your plan? Krillin asked curiously. There's a magical place here at Lookout where I plan to train, Goku replied. And Vegeta, he'll definitely want to go too. After all, we were completely defeated this time. Gohan, you stay here, we'll train together. Okay, Dad. Once Goku left, Tien Shinhan exclaimed, Goku is already so strong, and he still wants to get stronger. I can't lose to him either. Yamcha also chimed in, that's right, we've already been left behind. Even though we don't have Saiyan blood, we can't just give up. Krillin, what do you think? Huh? Oh, yeah, we can't give up. Krillin nodded. However, among this determined group of people ready to train, Piccolo was nowhere to be seen. At this time, on a desolate plateau, Vegeta was roaring in anger, his aura swirling like a tornado, crushing everything around him into pieces. When the tornado subsided, Vegeta gasped for breath and stared straight ahead, saying, Kakarot, are you here to mock me? We were evenly matched, yet I lost to that female android while you came out evenly matched. Behind Vegeta, Goku appeared and said, "No, no, no, Vegeta, I came here to talk to you about training." "Train? I have no intention of training with you." "Don't worry, I am also not going to train with you. I just came to tell you about a great training place where 1 year inside is only 1 day outside. In 1 year, we will surely break through the limits of Super Saiyan 1 and reach Super Saiyan 2. By then, I will make those 3 androids regret today for the rest of their lives." Vegeta almost growled. "Great, let's work hard together." Goku smiled. In this world, Goku and Vegeta had already comprehended full-power Super Saiyan level with the guidance of Lin Chen. They had yet to break through to Super Saiyan 2 simply because their strength wasn't enough. But with another year of training, breaking through the limits of Super Saiyan 2 was within reach. Both Goku and Vegeta were confident about it. After returning to Lookout, Goku sought out Kami and requested to use the hyperbolic time chamber. After obtaining permission, they decided that Vegeta would go in first, and Goku planned to enter with Gohan later for training. While Goku and his son waited for Vegeta to come out, on one corner of the Lookout, Piccolo approached Kami with some intention. "Piccolo, aren't you going to train in the hyperbolic time chamber?" Kami asked. "No, I'm not a Saiyan. I can't rapidly increase my power through transformations like them," Piccolo replied. "Then what do you intend to do?" Kami asked. Piccolo stared at Kami and said, word by word, "Old man, fuse with me. If we fuse back into one, I can catch up to Goku and the others. Now that Saiyans also have the Dragon Balls, your existence has become pointless. This world needs a powerful protector, not a useless Kami who can only summon Dragon Balls." "You make a good point." Kami seems to agree with Piccolo, but he quickly changed his tune and said, "But I refuse." "What?" Piccolo was surprised. Kami continued, "Piccolo, this world may not need a useless Kami who can only summon Dragon Balls, but it also doesn't lack strong protectors of peace. Whether it's the future Goku or the Saiyans on Planet Vegeta, they can handle the current risks. Moreover, these androids that have appeared are not wicked individuals. Even if no one stops them, I believe they won't do much harm to this world." "You naive fool!" Piccolo yelled, "Haven't you heard what Trunks said? Those androids cannot be trusted." Kami said, "That was in another world. In my view, the 3 androids that appeared this time are not evil people. Didn't they spare your life?" Gritting his teeth, Piccolo said, "You coward. Do you want to wait until things get out of control before you agree to fuse?" "No, I just need more time. When the situation truly calls for fusion, I will fuse with you." After saying that, Kami fell silent and walked towards the edge of the Lookout to continue observing the world below. Piccolo was itching to punch the stubborn old man, but he knew that neither he nor Kami could kill each other since they shared one life. However, at this moment, Piccolo didn't know that Kami had withheld something he hadn't said. That was since 3 years ago, Kami had sensed that the Earth would likely face another immense disaster, a crisis unlike any before, possibly even surpassing Cooler's invasion. But where this disaster will originate from, whether from within the Earth or from the vast universe, Kami couldn't figure out. However, at this moment, Kami's expression suddenly changed drastically. He rushed to the edge of the Lookout and looked down at the world below. What is that? So that's it. No wonder my intuition has been unclear. This crisis is actually coming from the future. Oh my, what kind of monster is that?" At this time, in a wilderness below, a peculiar-looking spaceship suddenly appeared out of thin air above the wilderness. The appearance of this spaceship resembled Trunks' time machine, but it was slightly different, larger in size compared to Trunks' time machine. However, this spaceship was indeed a time machine. After the spaceship landed, 2 identical figures, one wearing a red hat and the other wearing a black hat, slowly walked out of the ship. These 2 figures were the 2 Dr. Gero who had escaped from Lin Chen and returned to future Trunks' world. But shortly after the two Dr. Gero stepped out of the spaceship, a tall figure emerged slowly from behind them. Looking at Earth that he hadn't seen in a long time, Dr. Gero, who had already transformed into an android, closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Earth, I have finally returned. He, the other me, it's just a remote backward planet, nothing to be nostalgic about. The one speaking was future Dr. Gero, who looked around with a disgusted expression. In his world, the human world was backward and weak, and he didn't miss it at all. Anyway, this is still our homeland, and if it weren't for discovering the eternal energy here, our android project wouldn't have made such a huge leap, right? Dr. Gero sneered. Future Dr. Gero snorted and then asked, by the way, there's something I don't understand. In this world, you have always been monitored by the Saiyans. How did you find those three things and create Android 16, 17, and 18? I left a secret base of the Red Ribbon Army on Earth and entrusted it to Vomi. All the research data is stored in the base, and the information collected by my surveillance robots is transmitted to her first. Vomi? Is she still alive in your world? Future Dr. Gero was greatly surprised. Yes, after our child died, she left the Red Ribbon Army and became a university professor, Dr. Gero sighed, turning to the other him. From what you're saying, she's already dead in your world. Yes, when Vegeta occupied Earth, future Dr. Gero gritted his teeth. Just to show off his power, that idiot destroyed a city, and Vomi died then. Saiyans. They're all damn **tards. Dr. Gero frowned deeply. Let's go, the other me. I'll take you to that base. According to the information I obtained when I defected, Android 17 and 18 have already been completed. As long as it absorbs them, the true ultimate android can be completed. By then, no one will be able to stop our ambitions. That's right, future Dr. Gero turned to look behind him. My child, just be patient a little longer. Soon, you'll be able to feast again. I understand, father. Behind the two Dr. Gero, a green figure bowed slightly. When it raised its head, it was none other than Dr. Gero's ultimate creation, Android Cell. And this cell was already in its perfect form. After Cell raised its head, it seemed to sense something and looked in the direction of Lookout, a cold smirk appearing on its face. Almost simultaneously, Kami on Lookout sat on the ground in shock, taking a while to regain his senses. Popo, beside him, asked with concern, Kami, what's wrong? Mr. Popo, please go and call Piccolo. The moment we've been waiting for has finally arrived, Kami said, as if he had made a decision. Mr. Popo hesitated. Kami, have you really decided? Yes, I just saw it earlier. That monster that has been unsettling me has truly appeared. Kami clenched his cane tightly. Cell, what happened earlier? On the ground, future Dr. Gero noticed something peculiar about Cell and asked. Father, the Kami of this world was observing us just now. Not good. That Kami can see every corner of Earth. Our whereabouts are exposed. Dr. Gero exclaimed in alarm. Future Dr. Gero, however, remained calm. Don't worry, Cell. Can you deal with this trouble? Of course, father. Cell bowed slightly, and when it raised its head, its eyes suddenly lit up. A barely noticeable energy shield had enveloped the three of them. What is this? Dr. Gero asked curiously. Spiritual isolation. Now that Kami can no longer see us, Cell explained. Dr. Gero expressed a sense of awe as he remarked to his other self, the other me, your Cell certainly knows many skills. Future Dr. Gero smiled. I had no choice. In my world, most of the strong ones were killed by the Saiyans, so I had to incorporate cells from races with special abilities into Cell's body. Let's go, we need to act quickly. Otherwise, the delay may cause unexpected trouble. All right. Dr. Gero stored the time machine in a hoi poi capsule, and the three of them immediately flew north. Meanwhile, on lookout, Piccolo had already arrived in front of Kami. He was puzzled because Kami had just refused his fusion moments ago but suddenly changed his mind. "Hey, old man, Popo said you have agreed to fuse?" "That's right. Piccolo, ever since Planet Namek, I've been feeling restless. I couldn't figure out what was going on until I saw that guy just now. I realized that a massive disaster is about to befall Earth, a crisis even greater than Cooler's invasion. One slip, and not only Earth, but the entire universe will be in danger." "What did you see?" Piccolo asked in surprise. Old Kami didn't answer but walked slowly toward Piccolo. "Don't worry, after we fuse, you will know everything. I want to make it clear, I must be the dominant one in the fusion. Of course, then I will become the power and knowledge within you." Old Kami placed his hand on Piccolo's chest, took a last longing look at the lookout where he had lived for many years, and slowly said, "Mr. Popo, thank you for taking care of me all these years. Piccolo has changed now, he is no longer the great demon king of the past. So after this fusion, we don't need to separate anymore. Farewell, Mr. Popo." Kami. Popo's expression was downcast, full of reluctance. But at that moment, old Kami turned into a beam of light and transformed into a whirlwind, surging into Piccolo's body. Suddenly, Piccolo's entire body ignited with a fiery red aura, his aura continuously rising. Fierce winds swept across the lookout, attracting everyone's attention. "What's going on? What happened to Piccolo? Wow, amazing! He is now even stronger than Goku. This Piccolo." Suddenly, the strong wind stopped, and Piccolo clenched his fists confidently, feeling the power within his body. He looked up and confidently said to Goku, who was standing next to him, "Goku, now I have surpassed you once again." "Piccolo, did you fuse with Kami?" "That's right." At this moment, Piccolo, due to his previous fusion with Slug, had become even more powerful than in the original work. He even felt that he now had the power to confront Lin Chen face to face and have a battle with him. Amidst the excitement, Piccolo quickly saw the memories from old Kami that came with the fusion. His expression instantly changed from excitement to seriousness. What kind of monster was that? How could such a terrifying thing exist in this world? Taking a deep breath and calming himself down, Piccolo immediately turned around with a serious expression and said to Goku and the others, "Everyone, I have some bad news to tell you." On an unnamed planet, the golden-haired Trunks was in his Super Saiyan form as he sat cross-legged, doing meditation training. But suddenly, his eyebrows furrowed as if sensing something. He opened his eyes and immediately saw two figures appearing in front of him. "You Miss Tights? Miss Lazuli?" Trunks stood up. Tights smiled and greeted Trunks, "Trunks, where is Lin Chen?" "Teacher and Mr. Broly are over there," Trunks pointed to a peculiar-looking building in the distance. Upon hearing this, Lazuli walked away without saying a word. She tried to open the door but found it impossible to do so. "What's inside? Why can't I open the door?" Trunks explained, "Miss, according to teacher, this building is called the hyperbolic time chamber. It is completely isolated from the outside world. Teacher and Mr. Broly are in there undergoing special training." "What?" Tights frowned. "Why now of all times?" "Trunks, do you know when they'll be done?" "I don't know either. Teacher said my training was already complete, but Mr. Broly doesn't have any time left, so they had to go into the hyperbolic time chamber." "I don't know what he meant," Trunks scratched his head. Upon hearing this, Tights thought for a moment and said, "Since that's the case, let's leave them a message. Trunks, come back to Earth with us first." "Earth? What happened?" Trunks asked, puzzled. "Androids. Dr. Gero's androids have appeared. I heard that Goku and your father have already fought them, but they lost." "What?" Trunks was shocked. "I originally wanted to look for Lin Chen, but since he still isn't out, Trunks, you come back with us and see what's going on. I understand. After leaving a message for Lin Chen, Tights took Trunks and Lazuli back to Earth. Following Bulma's aura, Tights and others appeared directly on lookout. Coincidentally, at this moment, Goku and the others had just heard the bad news from Piccolo. Seeing Trunks and the others suddenly appear, everyone was overjoyed. At this time, the more people who could help, the better. Trunks and the others, seeing the grim expressions on everyone's faces and not seeing Vegeta around, immediately asked what happened. After Goku repeated the news from Piccolo, Trunks and the others were also stunned. A monster from the future world? How come I didn't know that Dr. Gero had such a monster with him in the future world? Trunks looked puzzled. It was not surprising that Dr. Gero returned from the future. However, what surprised them was Piccolo's statement that there was a monster accompanying Dr. Gero, which caught them off guard. Trunks, haven't you seen it in your world? That monster possesses a fusion of various chaotic auras, including Saiyan, Frost Demon, and even your own aura. Piccolo asked. My aura too? Trunks frowned. Mr. Piccolo, where is that monster now? I don't know. It seems to have some kind of ability, and I can't see them anymore. Trunks felt deeply worried. Piccolo's words gave him a bad feeling. Dr. Gero must have come back this time with some sort of reliance, otherwise, knowing that they are no match for Lin Chen, why would they dare to come back specifically? But Trunks had never heard of a monster fused with the auras of so many people, and he didn't know what exactly was going on. At that moment, Lazuli beside him asked, I heard that the androids who appeared before were 2 men and 1 woman. Yes, Miss Lazuli, one of them even looks a lot like you. Goku said. Looks like me. Are they Android 17 and Android 18? And there's a big guy, probably Android 16. Hearing that, Lazuli's mouth curved into a smile. Interesting, I originally thought this world wouldn't have Android 17 and Android 18 anymore, but it seems they have appeared. I wonder what the other me looks like. Lazuli's eyes shimmered, and an irresistible idea formed in her mind. At that moment, in the North City's northern region. After a long flight, the 2 Dr. Gero and Cell finally arrived at their destination. They first went to Dr. Gero's original laboratory. Dr. Gero of this world pointed there and introduced the place to his other self, this was my former secret laboratory. I know, I spent a long time here in my world too, future Dr. Gero said. Dr. Gero continued, later, Saiyan King Lin Chen found me, and this place was emptied. However, Lin Chen didn't know that there is a large Red Ribbon Army secret base further north, which is the real android research facility given to me by the Red Ribbon Army. When I left Earth, I revealed the location of that base to Vomi. Let's go. Android 17 and Android 18 should be there. Saying that, Dr. Gero led the way, with the other 2 following, flying towards the distance. After flying for another 10 minutes or so, Dr. Gero led them to a basin. He looked around and quickly found an entrance in the basin. Look. Other me, this is my true secret base. Lin Chen has no idea that even after leaving Earth, my android's research kept going on here. Future Dr. Gero laughed and said, hee, it seems that although our worlds differ, you're just like me, not truly loyal to anyone. Saiyans fear my android surpassing them, so they've always restricted my research. I had to do this in order to realize my dreams. Dr. Gero explained, about to lead the 2 of them inside, but his steps froze in midair. What's this? What happened? At the entrance of the secret base, the massive iron gate that should have sealed off the base had turned into 2 pieces of scrap metal. Damn it! Could those Saiyans have discovered my secret base? No, Cell crouched down and looked around, saying, Other father, it was open from the inside. From the inside? Dr. Gero hurriedly walked inside the base and indeed found it in disarray, as if it had been ransacked. Many facilities inside the base had been destroyed. Moreover, Judging by the traces, it looked as if someone had walked out of the base while destroying the equipment they came across. Not far ahead, there were even wreckages of 2 androids on the ground. The 2 android corpses were relatively intact, and from the broken parts, one could roughly make out their previous appearance. One of the androids was a chubby one with white skin, and the other had the appearance of an old man. They bore some resemblance to Dr. Gero and others. This is Android 19. When the future Dr. Gero saw the head that Cell had picked up from the ground, he finally recognized it. Android 19, this model of android existed in his world as well. And if this one was 19, then the other old man must be Android 20, right? In other words, Dr. Gero himself. But hasn't he already modified this world's Dr. Gero into an android? Why would there be another Android 20? Future Dr. Gero was puzzled, and the other Dr. Gero provided an explanation. These two are indeed Android 19 and 20. Android 20 retains his human brain while using a purely mechanical body design. This was a design I kept for myself, but I didn't expect her to create it. So, it was just the same design, not Dr. Gero himself. Future Dr. Gero nodded and then asked with confusion, what happened here? Who killed Android 19 and Android 20? The answer might be this. Dr. Gero continued walking inside, then stood next to 3 android hibernation pods. The 3 pods were labeled with the numbers 16, 17, and 18, and they were all open. Android 16, 17, and 18 have been activated. They must have killed 19 and 20. Damn it. The control program must have malfunctioned. Not necessarily, it could also be an issue with the eternal energy source. Future Dr. Gero said. But regardless of the reason, we must quickly find them now. If they are destroyed by those Saiyans, Cell won't be able to achieve his ultimate perfect form. By the way, speaking of Cell, where is the cell of your world? Future Dr. Gero asked. Wait a moment. Dr. Gero operated the computer for a while, and soon a nearby screen lit up. However, seeing the content on the screen, Dr. Gero's eyes widened once again. What's going on? Where is my cell? Appearing on the screen was an empty incubation chamber. Cell, who should have been inside the chamber, had disappeared. This can't be possible. According to my design, Cell's incubation should have taken several more years. Why is it like this? Vomi. Vomi, where are you? Watching the other him searching anxiously for the one who should have been in the base, future Dr. Gero frowned. Strange. This is too strange. The android research plan secretly arranged by Dr. Gero in this world seems to be different from what he imagined. Not only were the 3 androids activated in advance, but even Cell had vanished. And where is Vomi? Where did she go? At that moment, Cell, who had been wandering around, suddenly approached carrying a hibernation pod. He threw the pod on the ground and asked, Father. What model of android is this? It's not in my database. The hibernation pod that Cell threw on the ground was also empty, but the number 21 was written on it. Future Dr. Gero looked at the other him and saw his eyes widen even more. Android 21. The design I left for Vomi only went up to Android 20. Where did this 21st model come from? On a highway, a small car was driving leisurely. Inside the car, Android 17 was casually driving, while Android 18 sat beside him, looking at the necklace around her neck through the rearview mirror. It was the one they had robbed from a convenience store at a gas station earlier. Android 18, I never would have guessed that you still like jewelry. What's the use of wearing such things? They will only hinder us when fighting. What do you know? Why don't you throw away those sneakers of yours before speaking? Android 17 was at a loss for words, and to break the awkwardness, he looked at Android 16, who had been sitting silently in the back seat. Android 16, why didn't you take anything just now? Don't you have anything you like? I have no interest in those things. I like animals. Ha. You're supposed to be purely mechanical, and yet you like animals. That's funny. Just then, Android 16 suddenly exclaimed, "Be careful." Android 17 turned his head and realized that there was a blonde woman standing right in front of their car, blocking the road. Damn, where did she come from? Android 17 hastily hit the brakes and jerked the steering wheel. The car, carrying the three of them, skidded across the road and finally came to a stop just before it was about to hit the woman. As soon as the car stopped, Android 17 angrily pushed open the door, got out of the car, and shouted, "Hey! What was that just now? Do you want to die?" But before he could finish his sentence, Android 17 was dumbfounded. Beside him, Android 18 also froze. Because the woman's appearance was almost identical to hers. "Hey! Who are you? How can you look exactly like me?" "Me? I should say I'm you from another world, right? Another me? Are you kidding? If you don't believe it, you can check it out." Lazuli smiled and beckoned to Android 18. Android 18 sneered, "Alright, I want to see where this imposter really came from." After saying that, Android 18 rushed forward and engaged in a fight with Lazuli. "Android 16, can you tell where this imposter came from?" Android 17 asked while watching the battle. "Imposter?" Android 17, this woman's body structure is almost the same as Android 18's, and their energies are evenly matched. Rather than calling her an imposter, I think she might really be from another world. What? Android 17 was shocked on hearing that. Meanwhile, on lookout, Piccolo was observing the battle down below. Beside him, Trunks worriedly said, "Mr. Piccolo, you knew that Miss Lazuli might go looking for the androids to fight. Why did you tell her their location? Now is not the time to bother those androids. That creature you mentioned is our real enemy." "I understand," Piccolo said, "sending Lazuli down there is to lure that monster out. With the intensity of their fight, those three will surely notice it." "What? So you intended to use Miss Lazuli as bait? Teacher will be furious if he finds out, Piccolo." "Shut up. It's all for the sake of finding that monster." Just as he finished speaking, Piccolo suddenly looked to the side, his expression filled with joy. "There it is. That monster and the two Dr. Gero have indeed noticed." "What?" In the sky, the battle between Android 18 and Lazuli was going on. In Lin Chen's world, Android 17 and 18 were much stronger than in the original work, with their power level reaching nearly 500 million. During their battle with Goku and Vegeta previously, they hadn't even used half of their power. If Lazuli had encountered them before she met Lin Chen, she probably wouldn't have been their match. Fortunately, Lazuli had grown significantly stronger since getting to know Lin Chen. In the original work, Android 17's training allowed him to match Super Saiyan Blue. Although Lazuli hadn't reached that level, she could still hold her own against Android 18. The battle between the two identical women, apart from their hairstyles and clothing, was both visually appealing and intense. From the sky to the ground, and from the ground to the sky. Although no aura was emitted, the fluctuations during their fight were enough to be felt by everyone on lookout. Naturally, Dr. Gero and others in the far north also detected these energy fluctuations. The two Dr. Gero quickly rushed out of their now worthless secret base and looked towards the south. "Can you sense it, the other me?" Dr. Gero nodded. "Yes. This energy fluctuation with no aura reaction, it's a battle between androids. But why would the androids fight each other? Are there other androids besides us targeting Android 17 and 18? Future Dr. Gero asked, confused. Dr. Gero speculated, "It's Lazuli. Don't you remember? Lin Chen has another android from a different world by his side. It must be her fighting those other androids." Upon hearing this, future Dr. Gero immediately said, "Sell." Go there quickly. Once you absorb Android 17 and 18 from this world, you will become the ultimate android. I will go right away, father. Cell immediately took to the sky, transforming into a beam of light and charging towards the battlefield of the two androids. The two Dr. Gero glanced at each other and quickly flew after him. Ah! Enough! Who are you really? Android 18 shouted in frustration, coming to a halt and yelling at her other self. Observing this, Lazuli also stopped and said, as I said, I'm actually an android from another world. You're quite formidable. I've trained for a long time to reach my current strength, but you must have only recently awakened, right? How did Dr. Gero make you so powerful? Dr. Gero? What does he have to do with this? Android 18 suddenly said something that left Lazuli extremely surprised. Aren't you both created by Dr. Gero? Not at all. Android 18 replied, the computer of the Red Ribbon Army was responsible for creating us. Dr. Gero, as you mentioned, only designed the computer and provided the blueprints, right? He can't be considered our true creator. Really? How could a computer create you on its own? There must be someone controlling it, right? Who is that? Lazuli asked curiously. But Android 18 looked puzzled. Who? She turned around. 17. Do you know who it is? How would I know? Android 16 shook his head too. I don't know. Android 18 shrugged. As you can see, we don't know either. Maybe Android 19 and 20 know. By the way, they are also androids, but they were responsible for the daily operations of the base. They tried to stop us when we woke up, so we got rid of them. How can this be? Lazuli felt a bit depressed. She didn't expect such a stark difference between the androids in this world and herself. After giving up their fight, the two of them started chatting. And kept chattering away. Lazuli discovered that besides their creators being different, there were many other differences between her and Android 18. For example, the 18 in this world didn't go by the name Lazuli, and her relationship with Android 17 was not that of twin siblings but rather brother and sister. Even Android 16 was related to them. The original body of Android 16 turned out to be the older cousin of Android 17 and 18. The disparity between the two worlds was truly astonishing. As they enjoyed their conversation, Android 17 wore a baffled expression. Women, they sure are strange, don't you think, 16? Android 17 waited for Android 16's response but noticed that he remained silent, so he turned his head and saw that Android 16's gaze was fixed on the north. What are you looking at, 16? Suddenly, Android 16's countenance changed. Be careful, someone with a powerful energy is approaching. Someone else coming. Could it be another world's me this time? Android 17 yawned indifferently. 18. Android 17 cried out in alarm, rushing forward to catch Android 18. He raised his head, his expression turning grim as he stared at Cell, who had just easily knocked down Android 18 with a single punch. Who are you? Why are you attacking us? He Cell scanned them with a greedy look in his eyes and said, Who am I? I'm your brother. 17, I am the ultimate android Cell, the creation of Dr. Gero from another world. The most powerful being in the universe. Who is your brother, you monster? We weren't created by Dr. Gero. Is that so? Cell was taken aback. Well, our worlds have many differences, but it doesn't matter. As long as you're Android 17 and 18, that's enough. 17, 18. In my world, I absorbed both of you and became the perfect form you see now. But your world's Dr. Gero told me that if I absorb both of you, I can further evolve. How about it? Don't you want to see what the ultimate android would look like? What? You can evolve further. Lazuli was shocked. Wasn't the current Cell already in his perfect form? Could he actually upgrade again? No, it can't happen. They had to stop him. 17. Take 18 and go quickly. We can't let this guy succeed. Run away. Never. Android 17 roared, tossing 18 to Android 16 behind him before instantly disappearing. In the next moment, he appeared before Cell, launching an attack without hesitation. Bang! Because of Android 17's attack, the air suddenly trembled. However, after the tremor subsided, Cell had a smirk on his face. He had withstood Android 17's fist. Although you two in this world have become stronger for some reason, compared to me, you're still too weak. As soon as he finished speaking, Cell's palm grabbed Android 17's head and forcefully pressed it down. Like a falling meteor, Cell, holding on to Android 17's head, forcefully crashed down to the ground, creating a deep crater, several meters in depth, beneath their feet. Android 17 lay in the pit, already unconscious. Humph. Cell sneered, the black wings on his back spread open, revealing the tail behind him. With a slight exertion, Cell's retracted tail grew once again, transforming into the long tail of his original form. The tail, resembling a python, extended towards the top of Android 17's head and wrapped around his entire body. Oh no! Lazuli exclaimed and flew towards Cell, but she was blown away by a powerful ki blast from Cell. Struggling to maintain her posture, Lazuli wore a shocked expression. Although this Cell was only in his perfect form and hadn't reached his super perfect form, his power level already surpassed super perfect Cell of her world by a significant margin. Damn it, why are the androids in this world so strong? You must be Lazuli, right? Don't worry, after absorbing them, perhaps he'll consider absorbing you as well. Cell laughed maniacally as the tip of his tail suddenly expanded, revealing a suction cup-like mouth. We can't let him absorb 17. 16, help me. Upon hearing Lazuli's shout, 16 nodded with a solemn expression. He set 18 down and stomped his foot on the ground, propelling himself towards Cell like a cannonball. Bang! Compared to Android 17, Android 16's powerful punch finally made Cell stagger, but it was just that. Cell looked at Android 16 with disgust and said, I don't understand why they wasted an eternal energy source on a puppet like you. With that, Cell raised his hand, preparing to smack Android 16 away. However, to his surprise, Android 16 disregarded the attack and directly grabbed Cell's hand. Now! Android 16 shouted. At that moment, Lazuli had already landed on the ground and unleashed an energy blast toward Cell's tail. It's useless. With two bang sounds, Android 16 was sent flying, and Lazuli's energy blast was deflected back, forcing her to dodge in a sorry state. Seeing that there was no one left to stop Cell from absorbing Android 17, at that very moment, a voice suddenly sounded from the sky. Masenko beam cannon. A spiral-shaped energy wave descended from above, striking Cell's tail with great force. A loud crack echoed as Cell's tail was severed. At the same time, another golden figure streaked through the sky, snatching the unconscious Android 17 away from Cell and flying far away. Just as the fusion was about to be completed, it was interrupted by someone. Cell's face turned gloomy and he angrily shouted, Who? The one who will kill you. In the sky, Piccolo and Trunks descended one after another. It was they who had intervened to save 16. Piccolo, Trunks. This guy is called Cell, a bio-android created by future Dr. Gero. Lazuli landed on the ground and explained to them, he has already absorbed the Android 17 and 18 from Trunks' world. If he absorbs the 17 and 18 from this world as well, even Lin Chen might not be able to handle him. A bio-android created by Dr. Gero? Trunks' eyes widened, surprised to learn that this monster was also one of Dr. Gero's creations. At that moment, two figures flew in from the distance. The two Dr. Gero had finally arrived at the scene. Upon hearing Lazuli's words, the future Dr. Gero sneered, as expected of the android from another world. According to what you've said, it seems you've already witnessed the perfect form of Cell. Humph, the perfect Cell in my world was killed a long time ago. Lazuli said. What? Even my perfect form can be killed? Cell was slightly surprised, but the future Dr. Gero wasn't surprised. Cell, no need to be surprised. Just take a look at the information in your database about Lin Chen. Even in your perfect form, there's still quite a gap in power between you and him. But that's alright, once you absorb the android 17 and 18 from this world, you'll obtain the real perfect form surpassing the previous one. Yes, Father, I understand. Cell nodded, his body suddenly straightening up. The tail that Piccolo had severed earlier instantly regenerated, leaving everyone, including Trunks, dumbfounded. This is... No need to be surprised. His body should contain Namekian cells. Lazuli said. Mr. Piccolo, Miss Lazuli, let's join forces. We mustn't let Dr. Gero's plan succeed. Trunks proposed. Agreed, let's go. Piccolo immediately nodded in agreement. Lazuli didn't refuse either. Boom. 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 In the next moment, an intense and fierce battle unfolded. Trunks, Piccolo, and Lazuli joined forces in a true fight against Cell, determined to stop him. But Android 16's expression turned serious. No, it's not an android this time. The opponent's energy is very strong. 17, you are no match. No match? Don't joke, 16. Android 17 looked at Android 16 with disbelief. It's true, the opponent's power level surpasses yours by far. It's estimated to be 800 million. Impossible. Android 17 smashed their vehicle with a punch, angrily exclaiming, is it that Lin Chen guy? Or Broly? According to the data, only they possess such power. Doesn't seem like it. The opponent seems evil. 17, we should prepare to leave. After saying that, Android 16 looked up and shouted to Lazuli and Android 18, you too. Someone with an evil aura is approaching. We need to get away from here. There's no time. Suddenly, a voice resounded, and a green figure, like a flash of lightning, abruptly appeared before them. He, Android 17, 18, I finally found you. This is the 18 from another world, Miss Lazuli, right? And even the useless 16 is here. All the androids on Earth are gathered here. Cell chuckled sinisterly, his eyes gleaming with excitement like a wolf that had spotted its prey. What is this monster? Android 17 stared at Cell, who had appeared out of nowhere, his face filled with astonishment. Although he didn't have an energy scouter like Android 16, Android 17 was well aware that the speed at which the opponent had arrived far surpassed his own. On the other hand, Android 18 wore a disdainful expression and released an energy blast at Cell. Get lost, you cockroach-like creature. On the scene, only Lazuli was well aware of the opponent's identity. She was still shocked by why Cell was in his perfect form upon arrival. But seeing Android 18 fearlessly launching an attack, she quickly shouted, 18, keep your distance from it. This monster is not easy to deal with. However, before she finished speaking, Cell easily deflected Android 18's attack and then, as if teleporting, appeared in front of her. With a single punch, he nearly knocked Android 18 unconscious, causing her to fall from the sky. Boom! Time was rapidly passing by, and the battle between Piccolo, Trunks, and Cell was becoming increasingly intense. As they watched the fight unfold, the once confident faces of Dr. Gero began to show signs of nervousness. Damn it, how did Piccolo and Trunks become so powerful in just 1 year? Exclaimed Dr. Gero. Scanning using the built-in scouter in his body, it showed that Piccolo's current power level had already surpassed 500 million, and to their surprise, Trunks had not only become a Super Saiyan 2 but had also exceeded 600 million in strength. With the two of them teaming up, along with android Lazuli, even Cell seemed to be struggling to keep up. However, future Dr. Gero remained calm. He patted the shoulder of his other self and said, "Don't worry, this level of power is well within our calculations." Sure enough, at that moment, Cell, who seemed to be overwhelmed by the combined strength of the three, suddenly grinned and said, "Impressive. After attaining my perfect form, you three are the strongest opponents I have encountered. It seems you'll have to get serious." What? Suddenly, lightning began to crackle around Cell's body, and his aura expanded like a volcanic eruption. How is this possible? He's evolving. Feeling the immense and terrifying aura emanating from Cell, Piccolo momentarily lost his fighting spirit. At that moment, a sense of despair washed over him once again. Old Kama's premonition had indeed been correct. This guy called Cell was truly a monster. The current aura he possessed almost rivaled the full-powered Lin Chen that Piccolo encountered on planet Namek back then. No, it's probably even more powerful than Lin Chen back then. Lazuli wore a look of astonishment because the current Cell had unexpectedly transformed into his super-perfect form. But as far as she knew, this form was something Cell had only grasped after being revived. How could this Cell effortlessly control it already? Cell had a smirk on his face as he pointed to his head. "It seems you're surprised, huh? Let me tell you the truth. My body contains cells from all the strongest warriors in my world, including the Saiyans. And the current form I have is a Super Saiyan transformation that I developed myself. While it may not be as extravagant as a Super Saiyan, my power level has already doubled compared to before." Almost as soon as Cell finished speaking, his figure blurred. And when he reappeared, he was already standing next to Piccolo while his claw had pierced through Piccolo's body. It wasn't until Piccolo saw Cell's claw that he realized he had been attacked. So strong. Seeing Piccolo fall powerlessly, Trunks exclaimed, "Mr. Piccolo." With a loud roar, Trunks charged toward Cell. But Trunks' fist struck only an afterimage. Trunks' eyes widened in disbelief, but at that moment, Cell's elbow descended from above, instantly knocking Trunks to the ground. "We need to retreat. The current Cell is beyond their capabilities to handle." Android 16 picked up Android 17 with one hand and Android 18 with the other. By now, both Android 17 and 18 had awakened, but they were still catching their breath and unable to move on their own. "I'm sorry, but we have no choice." Apologizing to Piccolo and the others in his hearts, Android 16 immediately used his fastest speed to try to escape from the scene. However, just as he took off, he saw Cell blocking his path. Cell moved so quickly that he didn't even notice. How is this possible? Android 16 turned around and saw that Lazuli hadn't noticed that Cell had already left and chased after him. She was still searching everywhere for Cell's presence. When he turned back, Android 16 saw Cell with his arms crossed, giving him a faint smile. "You useless piece of junk. Where do you think you're taking them?" With that, Cell's eyes suddenly lit up, and a beam of light pierced through Android 16's left arm. Next, a beam of light followed, and Android 16 lost his right arm. Cell's eyes lit up one last time, and Android 16 saw in astonishment that even his own body had been cut in half and fell to the ground. Unable to move, Android 16 could only watch helplessly as Android 17 and 18 floated in mid-air under Cell's control, his tail flying toward them. "Stop!" At that moment, a voice called out from a distance. Lazuli flew over from the distance, but while in mid-air, she was restrained by Cell's telekinesis. The disparity between the two sides had become too great. Even Dr. Gero began to feel a sense of fear. The other me, Cell has become this strong already. Do we really want to make it even stronger? Aren't you afraid it will betray us? Don't worry, the other me. Every android has programmed obedience. They cannot betray me. Cell slowly moved Lazuli in front of him. Frowning, He looked at her and then smiled. I almost forgot, you're actually Android 18, right? I wonder if absorbing you will have the same effect. Since you've been coming closer, let's start with you. Saying that, Cell's long tail moved towards the top of Lazuli's head, the mouth resembling a suction cup, ready to swallow her. But just then, a hand grabbed Cell's tail. Snap! Cell's tail was once again severed. Who? Cell exclaimed in surprise, retracting the remaining half of his tail, glaring angrily at the person in front of him. Appearing before him were two Saiyans who seemed to materialize out of thin air. Cell had no recollection of one of them, but his memory bank was full of the other person's information. Lin Chen. Are you the Saiyan King, Lin Chen? Lin Chen didn't reply. Instead, he turned his head to look at Lazuli. A silver light flashed in his eyes, and then Lazuli realized she could move again. Lin Chen. Trunks and the others. Broly, watch over Lazuli for me. Saying that, Lin Chen instantly teleported to the side of Piccolo and Trunks, giving each of them a senzu bean. Then, he looked up at the two terrified Dr. Gero standing on the side. I didn't expect you to actually come back from the future. Are you here to offer your heads? Lin Chen. Dr. Gero's face was filled with fear. Cell still hadn't absorbed Android 17 and 18 of this world yet. According to their calculations, Cell still couldn't handle Lin Chen. Damn it, why did he show up at this moment? Upon seeing Lin Chen's arrival, future Dr. Gero's mouth twitched and he turned around, shouting, Cell. Stop wasting time and quickly absorb Android 17 and 18. Why? Father, he doesn't seem that impressive. To future Dr. Gero's surprise, Cell didn't obey his command but instead kept examining Lin Chen. Future Cell had fused many cells of strong warriors from his world. Some of them, like Earthlings, possessed the ability to sense aura, so Cell could also sense aura. However, based on his perception, the Lin Chen in front of him didn't seem powerful at all. Even if he transforms into Super Saiyan, it doesn't seem like anything extraordinary. Why were the two Dr. Gero acting as if facing a formidable foe? Seeing Cell looking relaxed, the two Dr. Gero panicked. Why isn't he following your orders? Didn't you say that Cell wouldn't betray you? Cell. Quickly absorb Android 17 and 18. Lin Chen's real strength is not something that you can deal with. Even the current me can't deal with him. Cell frowned and, with the two androids, landed on the ground. Father, aren't you exaggerating? I am already the strongest being in the multiverse. He's just a Saiyan. How could he possibly defeat me? Future Dr. Gero shouted in despair, you fool. We have already inputted Lin Chen's data into your program. Haven't you seen it? I've seen it, but it's nothing special. Cell casually rubbed his chin. In front of me now, he's not even worth mentioning. Damn it, what kind of cells did you provide him with? How could Cell have such a personality? Dr. Gero cursed. It must be Vegeta's personality influencing him, speculated future Dr. Gero. As a former powerful warrior in that world, Vegeta's cells were extensively used by future Dr. Gero in Cell's creation. The current Cell's arrogant personality must have originated from Vegeta. Seeing Cell seemingly about to defy orders, Dr. Gero suddenly took out a controller and said to Cell, Cell, I command you to quickly absorb Android 17 and 18. Otherwise, I will activate this controller. A controller? This controller can control the cells within your body. Once activated, the fusion genes within your cells will lose control. The androids you've absorbed will be expelled from your body, and your power will regress to its initial stage. There's something like that? Not only Cell but also Trunks, who had just recovered, was greatly surprised. Teacher, can you snatch that thing from him? Trunks, who had experienced the terror of Cell, immediately asked. But strangely, Lin Chen crossed his arms and seemed indifferent. Trunks, just watch from the side. I know what I'm doing. While Lin Chen remained motionless, Cell took action. Just as Dr. Gero was still threatening Cell, Cell suddenly disappeared from his original position. When he reappeared, he was already beside the two Dr. Gero. Rip. Dr. Gero's hand, which was holding the controller, was directly severed from the wrist by a blast of energy, and before he could react, Cell caught the controller. Cell! What are you doing? Future Dr. Gero exclaimed in disbelief. His android had actually rebelled against him. Father, you have always told me that I am the strongest android. If I'm the strongest, I can't have weaknesses, and you are my weakness. So. Cell's mouth curved into a smirk as he curled the finger of his right hand. After a flash of red light, future Dr. Gero disappeared amidst an explosion. It seemed that even in a completely different world, Dr. Gero couldn't escape the fate of being killed by his own creation. Having killed his creator with his own hands, Cell turned his gaze toward the Dr. Gero of this world, who was equally terrified, waving his hands and saying, "Don't kill me. I'm not him. But you are the same person. Who knows if you're familiar with the design of that controller?" "No, please." Dr. Gero shouted and turned to fly towards Lin Chen. "Your Majesty Lin Chen. Save me. Save me." A beam of light was about to hit Dr. Gero, but at that moment, Lin Chen actually moved. He stood in front of Dr. Gero and slapped away Cell's beam of light, causing Cell to narrow his eyes. Boom! The deflected beam of light landed in the distance, creating a mushroom cloud. Cell hadn't expected that Lin Chen really had some tricks up his sleeve and actually blocked his attack. "Your Majesty Lin Chen, thank you, thank you." Dr. Gero, who thought he had escaped, was about to express his gratitude to Lin Chen when he saw Lin Chen extending his hand. "Your Majesty, you. Those who betray me should be killed by my own hands." Boom! The Dr. Gero who thought he had escaped was reduced to ashes. It was really unnecessary. Well, now there's no one else meddling. Before fusing with Android 17 and 18, let's have a fight, Lin Chen. I heard them say that you've fused a lot of Vegeta cells. It seems your personality is really similar to his, Lin Chen said with a faint smile, pointing at Broly in the sky. "It's a shame, but forget about being my match, you can't even defeat him. If you want to challenge me, start by fighting him." Him. Cell glanced at the seemingly frail Broly and sneered, "Lin Chen, I thought you were someone impressive, but it turns out you're just a fool. Are you planning to die and also drag someone else down with you?" Just as Cell was about to refuse, Broly voluntarily flew over, leaving Lazuli on the ground. He stood in front of Cell and spoke, "Cell, Big Brother Link said it himself. Let's have a battle." After saying that, Broly's hair suddenly changed color, transforming into Super Saiyan. "Golden hair, you're also a Saiyan?" "Yes, I am Saiyan, Saiyan Broly," Broly indifferently replied. But his name made Cell pause for a moment. Broly? Cell naturally recognized that name. It was the name of the most powerful Saiyan in the universe before his birth. Unfortunately, that Saiyan had lost to the schemes of Dr. Gero and Vegeta later on. Unexpectedly, he still exists in this world. I've wanted to fight Broly for a long time. Although he's from a different world, it'll be interesting. Well, before challenging Lin Chen, I'll use you as an appetizer, Cell said confidently. Seeing that they were about to fight, Piccolo couldn't help but shout, "Lin Chen, are you really going to let Broly fight? Can he handle it?" Lin Chen waved his hand, "Don't worry, Broly can control himself now." Really? Piccolo didn't know what to say for a moment. If what Lin Chen said was true and Broly could truly control his power, then another powerful expert had emerged among the Saiyans. Lazuli asked in confusion, "Lin Chen, who is that guy? Is he strong?" "He's very strong. If we compare power level alone, he's almost on par with me," or maybe even stronger, Lin Chen said with a faint smile. What? Lazuli was immediately stunned. In the distance, Cell smiled faintly. Although he was from another world, his cells also contained Namekian cells, giving him Namekian-like super hearing. Hearing Lin Chen's assessment of Broly, Cell couldn't help but say, Broly, Lin Chen says you're as strong as him. Does that mean if I defeat you, Lin Chen won't be a match for me? Although he was in his Super Saiyan form, Broly was still calm, unlike his past crazy self. That's not possible. You can't defeat me. Are all you Saiyans so fond of talking big? Fine, I'll kill you first and then finish off Lin Chen. As Cell said this, he suddenly turned his head and pointed his hand. 2 energy rings descended from the sky and directly locked onto Android 17 and 18, who were supporting each other, intending to escape. The energy rings pinned them to the ground. Before I deal with them, you two aren't allowed to escape. Cell declared, turning his head and releasing all of his aura with a cold smirk. Instantly, a stronger aura than before surged like a tornado, causing the entire earth to tremble. Piccolo's mouth opened wide, his face filled with astonishment. Lin Chen, this guy's strength is already almost equal to yours. No, he's probably even stronger. Yes, Lin Chen nodded. His power level has reached 1.5 billion, slightly stronger than mine. Then why are you letting Broly fight? Don't worry, the current Broly hasn't even unleashed half of his strength. Just as Lin Chen finished speaking, as if to counter Cell's aura, Broly also began to increase his own aura. At the same time, Broly's appearance started to change. His hair turned yellow-green, replacing the previous golden color, and his muscles swelled once again. This was Broly's legendary Super Saiyan form, full power of Super Saiyan. After a few seconds, Broly's aura overwhelmed Cell's aura like an avalanche. On the lookout, when Broly's aura erupted out followed by Cell's aura, everyone on lookout was stunned. They were still shocked due to Cell's terrifying aura, but now they immediately sensed this familiar aura. This is Broly. Oh my god. Broly's aura is even stronger than that monster's. Ah. Should we go down and take a look? Goku scratched his head, but he knew he couldn't participate in the battle happening below. Why isn't Vegeta coming out? I also want to train quickly. Facing Broly, Cell's expression finally changed. He never expected that this guy named Broly would actually overpower him in terms of aura. How is this possible? I am Cell, the strongest android in the universe. You're far from being the strongest. Even in his full-power Super Saiyan form, Broly kept his rationality. He calmly spoke, and then with a light tap of his foot on the ground, he transformed into light and instantly closed in on Cell. So fast. Cell's heart skipped a beat, and he immediately took action. However, to his surprise, as soon as he jumped, he collided with someone behind him. It was Broly. How is this possible? Cell reacted quickly and swiftly turned around, aiming a punch at Broly's abdomen. But his fist was caught in mid-air, and then Broly's massive fist struck back. Like being hit by a truck, Cell spat out a mouthful of blood, his eyes filled with wisps of blood, bulging out. He tried to counterattack, but Broly's second punch followed closely. Bang, bang, bang. Cell was pummeled mercilessly by Broly like a sandbag. He tried to dodge and retaliate, but Broly was like glue, always sticking close to Cell. The continuous blows dealt a heavy blow to Cell's spirit. He never anticipated that even in his super perfect form, he would be beaten so brutally and be completely defenseless. Cell's eyes widened, bloodshot veins clearly visible in both eyeballs. With a roar, a series of explosions erupted from the ground. Cell's energy blasts bombarded Broly like a barrage of cannons. Amidst the crackling sounds of impact, mushroom clouds rose beneath Broly's feet. The intense explosions even made everyone involuntarily release their auras to counteract the impact. As for Android 16, who had been reduced to pieces, he was flung into the air. Fortunately, Trunks suddenly reached out and saved him. Such terrifying strength. Is this Cell's true strength? Trunks swallowed hard, his face filled with shock. He never expected his world to give birth to such a terrifying monster. Piccolo wore a relieved expression. Thankfully, Planet Namekians had strengthened Earth, otherwise, Cell's consecutive attacks just now would likely have destroyed the planet. However, amidst the series of earth-shattering explosions, Cell suddenly felt a strong premonition. Oh no! He abruptly stopped his attack, intending to leave the scene at the fastest speed. But at that moment, a bright green energy wave pierced through the mushroom clouds and narrowly passed by Cell. Bang! Half of Cell's body disappeared directly within this energy wave, leaving behind a disbelieving expression on his face as he stared at the dispersed smoke and dust in front of him. Broly calmly closed his mouth and then stepped forward, walking towards him. Damn it! Snap! The severed parts of Cell's body started to wriggle and squirm like disgusting worms. Before long, his damaged body had completely regenerated and restored itself. However, Cell's aura had significantly weakened due to this regeneration, completely losing the immense power he possessed earlier. Observing the situation, Broly stopped in his tracks and said, "Your aura has grown weaker. You cannot win. Why would I lose? Am I not the strongest in the universe? Why? Why?" Cell, on the verge of mental collapse, roared madly, his expression deranged. After going crazy, Cell erupted into a furious roar, his body suddenly swelling. At the same time, his aura also skyrocketed significantly. How is this possible? Cell still has been hiding his power? Trunks exclaimed in fear. Don't be afraid, it's just a transformation that increases strength by expanding the muscles. This kind of transformation solely pursues power and completely disregards balance. It might be effective against us, but it won't work on Broly, Piccolo said with some ease. Cell's transformation principle is similar to Namekians' giant form, so he immediately saw the drawback. Sure enough, the enlarged Cell was full of power but incredibly clumsy. Broly couldn't be bothered to engage with him and easily dodged 2 punches. Then, his fists, like bullets, continuously struck Cell's enlarged abdomen. When the body enlarges, the vulnerable areas also increase, making it easier for Broly to attack. Cell's eyes widened, and his eyeballs almost popped out. Suddenly, Cell's mouth opened wide, accompanied by a pained scream. Future World's Android 18 was unexpectedly spat out from Cell's mouth. To everyone's astonishment, the super-perfect form Cell suddenly reverted directly to the hideous second form. Cell's form reverted. That's great. We've won. Seeing Cell's form revert, Piccolo and Trunks felt relieved. The current Cell could be dealt with even by them. Seeing Android 18 lying on the ground, Cell felt like he was in an icy cave, filled with regret. If only he had listened to Dr. Gero's advice and absorbed those 2 androids early on, he wouldn't have ended up like this. Darn it! Darn it! Amidst a wave of unwilling roars, Cell despairingly saw a bright emerald light emanating from Broly's hand. But at that moment, it suddenly heard a voice. Enough, Broly, step aside. Broly nodded and returned to normal state, stepping back. What's going on? Cell was puzzled. And at this time, Lin Chen flew over and stood in front of Cell, his face indifferent. Cell, absorb Android 17 and 18. Hearing this, Cell was immediately shocked. And Piccolo and the others were shocked as well. Mr. Lin Chen. What are you doing? Teacher, quickly kill Cell. Lin Chen. Have you gone mad? After a brief stupor, Cell also asked, Lin Chen, what do you mean by this? Don't you understand? I want you to absorb these 3 androids. Weren't you unwilling? In giving you a chance to start over. Absorb future world's android 18, and then go and absorb those two androids, 17 and 18. Cell, I want to see just how strong the ultimate android can be, Lin Chen said indifferently. At this moment, everyone present, except for Broly, fell into a daze. What did Lin Chen just say? He actually wants Cell to become the ultimate perfect form? Didn't he consider the possibility that he might not be able to handle Cell? Thinking of this, Lazuli and the others immediately wanted to stop Lin Chen. But at that moment, Cell moved. Regardless of what Lin Chen's true intentions were, Cell only knew that if it didn't seize this opportunity, there would only be one outcome: death. No matter what, it had a sliver of a chance only by becoming the ultimate perfect form envisioned by Dr. Gero. Come back. Android 18. Cell swiftly rushed to the fallen Android 18 and swallowed her back with its tail. With a boom, Cell reverted to its former super-perfect form. However, its complexion was pale and far from fully recovered. Next, its gaze turned towards the trapped Android 17 and 18. But at that moment, Lazuli had already rushed to their side, shielding them. Lin Chen. I don't care what you're thinking. You absolutely cannot let it absorb them. Lazuli exclaimed. Before Lazuli could finish her sentence, Lin Chen instantly moved to her side, using instant transmission to bring her back to Piccolo and the others. Lazuli, trust me, everything will be fine. Lin Chen. Don't be too overconfident. We don't know what that monster will become. What if you can't handle him either? Piccolo said angrily. However, Lin Chen said, shut up. In his current state, I can crush him with just one hand. Let it continue evolving, I have my own intentions. Piccolo wanted to say more, but Lazuli waved her hand, saying, all right, it's up to you, but once this is done, you have to use the Dragon Balls to resurrect Android 17 and 18. Okay. Upon hearing Lin Chen's answer, Lazuli turned and walked over to Android 16, checking his injuries. 16 looked at this unfamiliar yet familiar android in front of him and asked, aren't you going to dissuade him? Don't worry, since he said so, he must have a plan. Lazuli felt that since Lin Chen had spoken, he must be confident. After all, in her heart, Lin Chen was like a god, capable of anything. After dealing with Lazuli, Lin Chen turned his attention to Cell, looking impatient. Cell, get on with it. To be honest, if given the choice, Lin Chen would never allow Cell to have the chance to grow stronger. But he had no choice. Why did his system have to cause trouble at this moment? Lin Chen's current actions trace back to when he and Broly emerged from the hyperbolic time chamber. Outside the hyperbolic time chamber, Lin Chen saw the message left by Tights. When he learned that the two Dr. Gero had brought Cell, Lin Chen was somewhat surprised. He didn't expect that future Dr. Gero would actually create Cell and bring him here. Ding! Host has encountered Cell's attack, triggering the strongest choices. Choice 1, eliminate both Dr. Gero and Cell. Reward, Android Cell Blueprint. Choice 2, eliminate Android 17 and 18, preventing Cell from becoming the ultimate android. Reward, Eternal Energy Core. Choice 3, defeat the ultimate Cell, who has absorbed two Android 17 and 18. Reward, Elementary Power of Destruction. When the voice of the system sounded in his mind, Lin Chen couldn't help but take a deep breath. The system was causing trouble again. However, this time, Lin Chen didn't think too much and made his choice. System, I choose 3. Ding! The host has selected the choice. Please complete the mission as soon as possible. Although Choice 3 was the most troublesome and dangerous mission, in the face of generous rewards, Lin Chen didn't need to consider too much. Power of laws belonged to the abilities of gods. Unless one had a great opportunity, ordinary people would find it difficult to comprehend even the most basic power of laws. This time, the system offering the reward of the power of laws, Lin Chen naturally didn't need to think too much. Silver Cell. As Lin Chen observed the sudden changes occurring in Cell's body, he felt the incredibly powerful aura emanating from him. A thought flashed through Lin Chen's mind, and Golden Frieza's figure appeared in his mind. In the original work, unlike his father and older brother, Frieza did not possess fourth transformation. Instead, he had a more powerful form known as Golden Frieza. Unlike the fourth and fifth transformation of Frost Demons, Golden Frieza's transformation can be considered less as a transformation more as a form of evolution. Once the transformation was complete, his power underwent an unimaginable evolution, becoming vastly superior to his previous state. In the original work, even Goku, who had achieved the Super Saiyan Blue form, couldn't initially match Frieza when he attacked Earth in this form. Ultimately, it was Frieza's unfamiliarity with this transformation that led to his defeat. Although the color was different, the changes in Cell's body immediately reminded Lin Chen of Frieza's transformation. The overwhelming and terrifying pressure made Lin Chen involuntarily take a deep breath. Hehe, Mr. Lin Chen, you've waited long enough. I have now become the true ultimate android. Cell's slightly hoarse voice echoed. Sensing the unprecedented feeling of power, his eyes narrowed and his previous fear of Lin Chen had completely vanished. Well? Are you satisfied with my current power? Why aren't you saying anything? Or are you too scared to speak? Silver Cell pursed his lips and burst into loud laughter. At this moment, Cell seemed to be somewhat intoxicated by his newfound power. But he indeed had the confidence to back it up. Just how strong was Cell now? In terms of power level, he had surpassed his previous form by threefold. His power level has exceeded 2.6 billion. This level of power far exceeded Lin Chen's power level in his legendary Super Saiyan 2 form and even surpassed his strength when using Super Kaioken. To obtain the power of laws, it seemed that facing enormous challenges was inevitable. Seeing Lin Chen remain silent, Cell smirked slightly. Lin Chen. You said something earlier, and now I'll say it back to you. You're no longer my match. Killing you will be a piece of cake. Lin Chen snapped back to his senses, a smirk forming on his lips. A piece of cake? Then why don't you give it a try? In an instant, his expression turned serious, his fists clenched tightly, and a deep voice resonated from his throat. Ha! Suddenly, the ground beneath everyone's feet trembled violently, and the surrounding rubble hovered in midair. Streaks of lightning crossed the sky, descending towards Lin Chen. Cell's previously confident smile began to fade. Rumble. Lin Chen's body instantly doubled in size, engulfed in a flickering green aura with lightning. Then, a hint of red light appeared amidst the green aura. In that instant, the entire earth felt the impact. People in many cities sensed intense shaking, as if experiencing an earthquake. So powerful! Piccolo and Trunks exclaimed in astonishment. Although they were taken aback by Cell's earlier transformation, they never expected Lin Chen's aura to nearly match Cell's, with little to no difference in power. No wonder he's so confident, their strengths are almost equal. Piccolo remarked. Almost equal? No. Broly shook his head. His current strength doesn't represent Brother Lin Chen's true strength. He has gained new abilities beyond our imagination. New abilities? At that moment, accompanied by a final roar, Lin Chen's aura reached its peak. The red flames intertwined with the flickering green aura was accompanied by clusters of blue lightning. Cell, come and kill me if you dare. Cell swallowed hard. He never expected that Lin Chen's true strength had reached such a level, nearly matching his own current strength. He had achieved the ultimate form by absorbing the android 17 and 18 from two different worlds, and yet he was only on par with Lin Chen. The thought made Cell furious. In any universe, there couldn't be anyone stronger than him. Lin Chen, let's see who is better. Gritting his teeth, Cell dashed forward, his body enveloped in silver aura, and threw a punch towards Lin Chen. Cell's speed was so fast that almost no one present could see clearly, not even Lin Chen, who only managed to sense Cell's movement before being struck hard in the face. The ground beneath Lin Chen's feet instantly cracked, but he managed to hold his ground instead of being sent flying. You sure are fast, huh? Then slow down for me. Time prison. Red light flashed in Lin Chen's eyes as he retaliated with a punch toward Cell. It's useless, your movements are too slow. Cell yelled, attempting to grab Lin Chen's fist but suddenly found himself unable to see Lin Chen's movements. Boom! Lin Chen's fist almost penetrated Cell's abdomen. Cell's face instantly changed, his eyes filled with disbelief and pain. What's going on? My power level is clearly stronger than his, so why is his speed so fast? In the next moment, Cell's look of shock turned into anger. His fists clenched tightly, and drops of blood trickled down his fingers. His wings behind him trembled violently as he launched another attack towards Lin Chen. This time, Cell's speed reached its peak. However, what he didn't know was that, in the eyes of everyone around, even in Krillin's eyes, Cell's movements appeared ordinary, not fast at all. Anyone could clearly see them. That was especially true for Lin Chen. As Cell's fist came towards him, Lin Chen also threw a punch. His fist arrived later but hit Cell before Cell's attack landed. You! Cell's face showed unwillingness as he continued to fight back. However, each of his punches was easily evaded by Lin Chen, without a single hit landing. What's going on? With Cell's power level, his movements shouldn't be this slow, Piccolo said, puzzled. Cell fell into Brother Lin Chen's time prison. The flow of time around him has slowed down by several seconds compared to us. So, while it appears his movements have become slower to us, what has truly slowed down is his perception of time, explained Broly. What? When did Lin Chen learn such a technique? Piccolo exclaimed in astonishment. Teacher's power may have reached a level close to that of a god, Trunks said excitedly, his eyes filled with admiration. Meanwhile, the short-range combat between Lin Chen and Cell came to an end with Cell finally unable to withstand it, being sent flying by Lin Chen's punch. Looking at Cell, who had a furious expression and a face full of unwillingness as he struggled to get up from the ground, Lin Chen calmly spoke. Cell, although our powers are similar, in terms of utilizing power, you are nothing more than a barbarian in my eyes. You cannot defeat me, who has already mastered the power of laws. As soon as he came back to his senses, Lin Chen looked at Cell in front of him. Although this Cell from the future world was still far from being a match for him and Broly, he already possessed strength equivalent to that of Super Saiyan 2. If he also absorbed Android 17 and 18, who knows what form he would transform into? What kind of strength would he possess? But one thing Lin Chen was certain of, after becoming the ultimate Cell, his strength would definitely not be weak. Otherwise, system wouldn't have brought out power of laws as a reward for killing him. Although it was a risky move, Lin Chen could only grit his teeth and persevere for the power of laws. Go ahead, Cell. I won't let anyone disturb you. Well then, thank you, Lord Lin Chen. Cell's mouth curved into a sinister smile, and he beckoned with his finger towards the two androids. A powerful telekinesis immediately grabbed hold of both of them and flew them towards Cell. Android 17, Android 18. Fuse with me. As he spoke, Cell's tail opened up its suction cup. At this moment, Android 17, who had already passed out, suddenly opened his eyes. It was unknown where he gathered the strength from, but he managed to break free from Cell's energy aura. But instead of choosing to escape on his own, Android 17 hugged Android 18 and threw her in the opposite direction of Cell. Run! Sister! As Android 18 flew away like a projectile, Android 17 exhausted his last bit of power and was instantly absorbed by Cell's tail. A dazzling white light burst forth, like a newly born sun. After the light faded, Cell's appearance hadn't changed much, but his aura had skyrocketed, surpassing Broly's aura who had easily defeated him earlier. As expected. Even in super perfect form, I am not the strongest. Dr. Gero didn't deceive me after all. Cell couldn't believe what he was seeing as he looked at his own body. Surging power roamed within him. At this moment, Cell felt that he might have a chance to again challenge Broly and avenge his previous defeat. But he had learned his lesson this time and didn't act rashly. There was still one more Android 18. How strong would he become if he absorbed her? Lin Chen, are you really going to let him absorb the other Android 18? Piccolo asked sternly. That's right. Lin Chen nodded. Everything was for the sake of the final reward for completing the mission. However, at that moment, an unexpected figure suddenly appeared and grabbed hold of Android 18. Come. I'll take you away from this place. Seeing the person who had arrived, Lin Chen couldn't help but be surprised. The person taking away Android 18 was none other than Krillin. In fact, Krillin had followed along when he learned that Lazuli was searching for the androids. However, his strength was lacking, and he had only arrived at the scene not long ago. Then, seeing Cell attacking Android 17 and 18 and about to absorb them, Krillin couldn't hold back any longer and took action. Holding on to Android 18 tightly, Krillin flew away without saying a word. Naturally, Cell wouldn't let him have his way and immediately chased after them. But just as Cell was about to catch up, Krillin suddenly turned around. Solar flare. The dazzling light immediately blinded Cell. By the time his vision recovered, Krillin and Android 18 had already disappeared. Damn it! He was able to withstand my aura. Even Lin Chen didn't expect Krillin to appear and intervene at this moment. This wouldn't do. Brother Lin Chen, I'll go after Krillin. Otherwise, Cell might kill him. Broly said. Go ahead. But remember to leave Android 18 for Cell. At this time, Cell had once again started to move. Although he couldn't sense the location of Android 18 and Krillin, let's not forget that this cell came from Trunks' world. He was made from the cells of many strong individuals in that world. And among these strong individuals, there were some who excelled in tracking techniques. So Cell only paused for a moment before he locked onto the direction where Krillin was escaping. This residual aura, I am not mistaken. Don't think you can escape my sight. Cell shouted and chased after them. It didn't take long before he found Krillin and Android 18 hiding in a nearby canyon. 18. You can't escape. Upon hearing Cell's voice, Android 18 glared at him with hatred in her eyes. Knowing that she couldn't run away anymore, Android 18 chose to fight back. Baldy, you should leave immediately. He's after me. Wait. Spit out 17. Before Krillin could stop her, Android 18 soared into the sky and launched a full-force attack on Cell. A large number of energy blasts exploded forward, creating a continuous rumbling sound. But amidst the smoke, Cell emerged unscathed, protected by a green shield. Taking advantage of the opening when Android 18 attacked, Cell opened his tail and swallowed her whole. 18. Krillin let out a cry of despair. Suddenly, a thunderbolt descended from the sky, striking Cell. Following that, numerous dark clouds appeared out of nowhere, and dense lightning bolts continuously fell from the sky. Within the electric light, an immense power suddenly swelled up, eventually exploding in midair. Like a nuclear explosion, it created a ripple, raising a mushroom cloud into the sky. Ah! Krillin, who was closest to the explosion, was sent flying. Under the influence of this aura, he couldn't even use the flight technique. Fortunately, at that moment, Broly arrived in time and caught him in midair. On the other side, feeling Cell's aura, Piccolo and Trunks couldn't help but tremble. Lin Chen, this aura, can you really handle him? Piccolo asked. Teacher. Just wait. Lin Chen ordered, then took flight and approached Cell. By this time, the smoke in the sky had dissipated, revealing a green figure slowly appearing amidst the lightning. A cell that looked almost the same as before stood in front of Lin Chen. No. It should be said that this cell's appearance hadn't changed at all. He's still in super perfect form. A hint of disappointment flashed in Lin Chen's eyes. He had thought that Cell's ultimate perfect form, which surpassed the perfect form, would have a more robust physique. But Cell's appearance hadn't changed much, except for a slightly powerful aura. There was no significant difference from before. Cell, have you become stronger? Lin Chen asked from a distance. Cell's eyes fell on Lin Chen, and his mouth curled slightly. His wings spread open on his back as he flew to a position not far from Lin Chen. Lin Chen, it seems you're a bit disappointed. After absorbing Android 17 and 18, Cell seemed to have grown bolder, even directly addressing Lin Chen by name. What do you think? Lin Chen disdainfully replied. No need to rush. My power is far from fully unleashed. Now, please open your eyes and look carefully. With a casual remark, Cell's aura trembled slightly, and then, a pure white flaming aura erupted out. Under this aura, Cell's appearance finally changed. Cell's overall appearance didn't change much, but his green body now seemed to be coated with a shiny metallic sheen, sparkling with a silver glow. Although it was only a color change, his aura had undergone a tremendous transformation. Silver Cell. Power of laws. What power of laws? Cell eyes widened, looking puzzled. Even after searching through all the information in his mind, he couldn't find any relevant information. Power of time. I have already mastered the ability to manipulate time. No matter how fast you are, can you be faster than time? Lin Chen sneered and threw a green energy blast at Cell. Upon seeing this, Cell was about to dodge, but to his surprise, the energy blast vanished into thin air right in front of him. Cell rubbed his eyes. What's going on? What did you do? Power of time. Ridiculous. How can a person control time? Lin Chen chuckled lightly. Cell, you're right. A person indeed cannot control time unless they can comprehend the laws of time. Fortunately, I have comprehended a little now. You wanted to know where my eraser cannon went, right? I accelerated its time and sent it to the future, 30 seconds ahead. In a few more seconds, it will reappear. 4 3 2 1. Just as Lin Chen was counting down to 1, Cell suddenly felt a sense of being targeted by a wild beast out of nowhere. The intense feeling of danger prompted Cell to quickly move away from his original position. But as soon as he started to move, a green energy sphere appeared in front of him and exploded on the spot. Boom! Under the radiant green light, the earth cracked, and the rocks on the surface turned to dust. The sudden explosion left everyone stunned. After a resounding boom echoed through the sky, only 1/3 of Cell's body remained. One of his hands and feet were severed, there were holes all over his body, and half of his face was gone. With only half a face left, Cell shouted in horror, What's happening? As I said, I sent my attack to a moment in the past. Besides that move, I can also slow down your time and store my own time. Although I only have these 3 techniques for now, they are not something that the current you can understand, Lin Chen said indifferently. Since inheriting the elementary power of time from the Supreme Kai of Time, he hadn't had the time to fully comprehend it. But not long ago, through training with Broly, who had already mastered his power, Lin Chen could now freely manipulate the power of time and space and had also grasped the technique he used just now, temporal passage, which sent the attack to the future. UBA**tard. How can this be? Cell's cells began to grow rapidly, and soon, the missing parts of his body had regenerated. He shouted loudly, spread his wings, and soared into the sky. Once Cell reached a certain height, he suddenly assumed Vegeta's signature pose. Oh no! Seeing Cell's posture, Piccolo and Trunks' faces suddenly changed. And even Lin Chen's brows furrowed slightly. Because they all recognized that Cell was about to unleash Vegeta's ultimate move, Gallic Gun. Lin Chen. So what if you can control time? In the face of absolute power, if you're capable, manipulate time and escape. As long as you dare to run, I will simply destroy Earth. Sure enough, Cell let out a roar and immediately released an immensely powerful energy wave towards the ground. Gallic Gun. Master. We must stop him. Otherwise, the Earth is doomed. Lin Chen remained silent and instead formed his hands into a lotus shape, pushing upward forcefully. Kamehameha. The next moment, a massive energy wave rushed toward Cell. The two energy waves collided in mid-air and quickly clashed. However, a look of fear soon appeared on the faces of the onlookers. Because the result of the clash between the two energy waves was that Cell's Gallic Gun kept suppressing Lin Chen's Kamehameha. Even the ground beneath Lin Chen's feet began to crack under the pressure of the energy wave. Not good. When it comes to absolute power, Cell is still superior to Master. Trunks exclaimed in panic. Let's go and help him. Although we may not be able to make much of a difference, we must not let Cell's attack hit Earth. Krillin's suggestion immediately received agreement from everyone, including Lazuli. But just as they were about to act, Broly stopped them. Hold on, don't be in such a hurry. Brother Link still has a solution. At his words, everyone turned their gaze towards Lin Chen. And at that moment, they all felt a blur in their vision. It seemed as if Lin Chen had suddenly shifted position, moving a little distance from where he was. Huh? Did my eyes deceive me? Did anyone else notice if Lin Chen moved? Krillin wondered. No, he really moved. Lazuli said. It wasn't an illusion. Lin Chen had indeed moved. In that split second, Lin Chen used the time skip technique, shifting his position in 0.01 seconds and unleashing a second Kamehameha. Due to the extremely short time interval, Lin Chen appeared as if he had simultaneously launched two Kamehameha. The doubled power made Lin Chen's energy wave instantly larger and more powerful. In that instant, the previously suppressed Kamehameha suddenly pushed back. I'm impossible. Seeing his Gallic Gun suddenly being suppressed, Cell's expression changed drastically. However, no matter how hard Cell tried, Lin Chen's attack was unstoppable. After all, Lin Chen's Kamehameha seemed as if it was being simultaneously launched by two Lin Chen. Although Cell's power level was slightly superior, he couldn't contend with two Lin Chen at the same time. Boom! In Cell's eyes, the Kamehameha gradually grew larger and ultimately collided with Cell's body. Stop! Within the radiance of the Kamehameha, Cell's figure seemed to elongate before finally disintegrating and dissipating. Half a minute later, the radiance of the Kamehameha disappeared from the sky. And all that remained in the sky was a small head. The head was severely damaged, but Cell's silhouette was still discernible. Seeing Cell almost turning into a puddle of mud, Trunks and the others clenched their fists, shouting in excitement, "Fantastic! We won!" Lazuli also shouted loudly, "Lin Chen, quickly destroy Cell's core completely, or it will regenerate." Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission. Defeat the ultimate Cell that has absorbed 2 Android 17 and 2 Android 18. Reward, Elementary Power of Destruction. Hearing the completion notification of the mission, Lin Chen felt a surge of joy. He knew that this battle had finally come to an end. All that remained was to completely eliminate Cell, and peace would come. He raised his hand, about to destroy Cell's remaining head. But unexpectedly, at that moment, a green figure suddenly appeared behind Cell's head. I've finally waited for this opportunity. Join me, the future world's me. Fuse with me. Cell. When Lin Chen saw the figure that seemed to have appeared instantly using teleportation, his gaze instantly sharpened. Because this green figure that had suddenly appeared was also Cell. However, This Cell was still in his first form, resembling the insect-like original appearance of Cell. What was going on? How could there be two Cell in this world? What's going on? How can there be two Cell? Did he just use teleport to come here? Everyone was surprised when they saw his sudden appearance. Lin Chen was also puzzled. Silver Cell he had defeated earlier was already a Cell from the future world, so where did this current Cell come from? Could it be the creation of Dr. Gero from this world? While Lin Chen and the others were wondering, Silver Cell turned his head with difficulty. When he got a look at that green figure, his eyes widened as well. BAS asterisk guard. What the hell are you? Not only the appearance, but even the aura emanating from the other party made Cell understand that the Cell in front of him was an android of the same origin and root as himself. But didn't Dr. Gero only create one Cell? Where did this Cell come from? Suddenly, Cell's eyes widened. He suddenly thought of a place. If he had to guess where this Cell came from, the most likely place was there. You bastard. He, the other me. I've been waiting for a long time. Thanks to Lin Chen and the others, the time for us to merge has finally come. Don't worry, once I absorb you, I will avenge you. The new Cell smiled. Absorb? What are you trying to do? This. A sharp tail suddenly extended from behind the new Cell, forming a large mouth, and directly swallowed Perfect Form Cell, just like Perfect Form Cell had previously devoured Android 17 and 18. Immediately, a terrifying aura caused Lin Chen's eyes to widen. Compared to Cell's previous evolution after absorption, there was no earth-shattering light after this new Cell swallowed his counterpart. His body just swelled and grew normally, accompanied by a rapidly rising aura. Soon, a new Cell, almost indistinguishable from the Perfect Form Cell, appeared in front of everyone. Although the color of this Cell's body had returned to green, Lin Chen could feel that the opponent's aura was far above the previous Silver Cell. However, this aura seemed unstable, fluctuating between high and low, as if it hadn't been completely controlled yet. Such a powerful energy source. Absorbing 4 eternal energy sources has indeed greatly increased my power. The new Cell looked satisfied. Then, it had a slightly regretful expression on its face. This energy is too vast. I still can't fully control it, Lin Chen, it seems I can't fight with you today. Brother Lynx, his power is still unstable. Kill him now. Broly shouted. After a momentary hesitation, Lin Chen nodded in agreement. His mission had already been completed, and there was no need to take any more risks. Who knows what this new Cell would become after absorbing the Silver Cell? Almost simultaneously, Lin Chen and Broly leaped into the air, 2 bright green energy blasts drew 2 arcs as they flew towards the new Cell. With the power of Lin Chen and Broly, if these 2 energy blasts struck, even if he didn't die, the new Cell would probably be severely injured. But just before the 2 energy blasts were about to hit, the new Cell's body flickered and he disappeared from everyone's sight. Instant transmission. This time, Lin Chen saw it clearly. This new Cell could indeed use instant transmission. In the next moment, Lin Chen sensed Cell's aura, but to his surprise, he had appeared right next to Piccolo and the others. Cell. He's here. Krillin screamed, while the others tried to disperse but suddenly found themselves unable to move. A silver light flashed in Cell's eyes, and he smiled, "Don't make any rash moves, or your body might get crushed due to my telekinesis." Lin Chen and Broly turned around to fly back, but Cell raised his hand to stop them, saying, "Mr. Lin Chen, if I were you, I would advise against any rash actions. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the safety of Mr. Krillin and the others." "What do you want?" Lin Chen narrowed his eyes, while Broly's hair began to float slightly. "Don't get agitated." Cell smiled. "I just wanted to tell you, Lin Chen, that now is not the time for our duel. I need to fully control the power within me, which may take about a week. So, I want to play a game with you. After a week, I will set up an arena somewhere, and we will compete in the style of the World Martial Arts Tournament. If you can defeat me, then you can kill me. Otherwise, I will kill everyone on Earth first, then Planet Vegeta, and finally the entire universe. What do you think, Lin Chen? Isn't this proposal interesting? That's all I have to say. Wait for my message. With that, Cell appeared ready to leave, but Lin Chen shouted, "Wait, Cell, which world do you come from? Did you also use a time machine to come here?" "Me." Cell glanced at Android 16 being held by Lazuli. "If you want to know where I come from, ask that puppet over there. He should know." "Well then, goodbye." After speaking, Cell used instant transmission and truly left the scene. Broly immediately sensed the auras around him but found no trace of him at all. "Damn it! He has concealed his aura." Broly exclaimed. "Brother Lynx, wait here. I'll go to lookout and use Kame's power to search." Piccolo intervened, "It's useless, Broly. The previous Cell had a kind of spiritual barrier. Even with Kame's magic, we couldn't find him." "What? Then what should we do?" Lin Chen frowned, contemplating Cell's words just now. He said, "Let's go back for now. That guy is really good at hiding, and he can use instant transmission. There's nothing we can do at the moment. He gave us a 7-day waiting period, but it's also an opportunity for us to rest and reorganize. In these 7 days, we can still become stronger." So, following Lin Chen's suggestion, everyone returned to Lookout. On Lookout, Goku and the others couldn't wait any longer. As soon as they saw them return, they immediately inquired about what had happened. And when they learned everything, their mouths opened in astonishment. No one had expected that, right after one crisis had settled, another one would arise. After the sudden appearance of the 3 androids, 2 Dr. Gero and Ultimate Android Cell emerged. After Dr. Gero and Cell were dealt with, a new Cell appeared. Terrifying opponents kept appearing, and their strength kept growing. Judging from the current situation, Goku was certain that once Vegeta came out of seclusion, he would have to go back immediately. The enemy's progress had completely exceeded their expectations. "Bulma, can you restore Android 16? He's seriously injured." When everyone was feeling worried over the ominous situation, Lazuli supported Android 16 and brought him to Bulma. Seeing the heavily damaged state of Android 16, Bulma felt a bit at a loss. "Huh. It's a pure mechanical android, right? I haven't come into contact with something like this before, so I'm not quite sure. Maybe I should call my dad. He's been researching androids lately." "Don't worry, Bulma. You can handle it. In my world, you are the one responsible for repairing 16, and he knows how to guide you through the repairs. Just follow his instructions," reassured Lazuli. "Well, all right. Bulma, wait." At that moment, Lin Chen approached and looked at the severely injured Android 16, and asked, "16, can you hold on for a moment? Before we send you for repairs, I'd like to ask you a few questions. All systems are stable, and the damaged energy conduits have already been cut off." "Feel free to ask your questions, Mr. Lin Chen," replied Android 16. "In that case, please tell me what Cell meant by his last words." "It said you might know where it came from," Lin Chen inquired. On the other side, Trunks and the others gathered around when they heard Lin Chen's question. Not only Lin Chen, but even they were curious about today's events, especially Trunks, who was particularly interested in the differences between their 2 worlds. After everyone had gathered, Android 16 began to speak. "To be honest, I don't really know where Cell came from. But since it said that I might know, I can make a bold guess. It's likely that the Cell that appeared later comes from the same place as me, 17 and 18. The same place? The secret base of the Red Ribbon Army. Along with 17 and 18, were all created there. Originally, that base was the Red Ribbon Army's android research facility. After the Red Ribbon Army was destroyed, Dr. Gero left and established his own secret lab. Although the base was abandoned, the equipment inside remained. In the age 753, someone reactivated the base and resumed the research on androids. Age 753. Wasn't that during the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament? Lin Chen furrowed his brow, as he recalled the time when he subdued Dr. Gero. Could it be that everything had started back then? Was it Dr. Gero who activated the base? Lin Chen asked. No, it wasn't Dr. Gero. According to the computer records, the one who activated the base was a senior research director of the former Red Ribbon Army named Vomi. Who? For Lin Chen, this name was entirely unfamiliar. Vomi was once the second-in-command in the Red Ribbon Army's research division, just behind Dr. Gero. She was also a senior expert in bioengineering and led multiple android projects. The last android project she completed before disappearing was Android 8. But before Android 8 was finished, Dr. Vomi left the Red Ribbon Army for personal reasons, and her whereabouts became unknown. Upon hearing this, Bulma beside them suddenly clapped her hands and exclaimed, "Oh my goodness! Android 16, are you talking about Professor Vomi of North City University's Artificial Intelligence Department? She was also once part of the Red Ribbon Army?" Yes, not just that, Dr. Vomi was also Dr. Gero's wife. Android 16's words elicited gasps from everyone. Goku chimed in, "So, if Dr. Gero is you android's father, then Vomi is your mother?" "That's about right," continued Android 16. Since the reactivation of the base, Professor Vomi resumed her research on androids. She initially researched Android 12, 13, 14, and 15, but they all failed. However, at that time, Professor Vomi managed to obtain 3 eternal energy sources from somewhere, which eventually led to the successful creation of me, 17, and 18. Based on the computer data, I was made by Professor Vomi, using the template of her deceased son. As for 17 and 18, their human bodies were her nephew and niece, respectively. Both of them had suffered severe injuries during the invasion by aliens 3 years ago. Professor Vomi took them from the hospital and modified them into androids. Lin Chen glanced at Lazuli beside him and, seeing her shaking her head, he realized that this might be something unique to his world. In Lazuli's world, the birth of androids might not involve these secrets. He asked, "Android 16, what about Cell? You haven't told us about him yet." "Apologies, I was getting to that." Android 16 organized his thoughts and continued, "The research on Cell was the highest secret in the base. Even 17 and 18 were unaware of it. I don't know much either, but when we woke up and were about to leave the base, I managed to access some data in the base. From that, I learned a few things. Since Professor Vomi activated the secret base, she regularly received encrypted data from space. The source and content of this data were not recorded in the computer. But based on my analysis, it should have come from Planet Vegeta, and the contents were genetic data of powerful individuals collected by Dr. Gero from the outside. In addition to that, it seems that Cell had undergone special modifications by Professor Vomi to accelerate his growth. Lin Chen, look. I told you there was something wrong with Dr. Gero. He had been preparing for this for a long time, Lazuli remarked. Alright, let him finish, Lin Chen waved his hand. Android 16 continued, the secret base where we were located was originally built in a basin outside North City. Beneath the secret base, there is an even deeper underground space excavated to provide energy for the base. According to the data I saw, that space is big enough to accommodate another android research room. So, I suspect that the Cell that appeared today, if he was born in our world, must have come from there. Android 16. Can you tell me the address? I want to go check it out. Trunks said. Based on his instincts, he felt that in that research base, He might find some information related to the androids. Though this information might not be of use in this world, they could prove useful when he returns to his own world. Android 16 nodded and provided the location of the research base. Trunks bid farewell to Lin Chen and set off, with Krillin volunteering to accompany him. Watching the two leave, Lin Chen suddenly thought of something. Android 16, where is Professor Vomi now? I don't know. After we woke up, she disappeared, and she even deleted any information about herself from our memories. 17 and 18 have forgotten about her and think they were created by the base's computers. I only discovered information about her from the base's computer and managed to restore my deleted memories, learning everything that had happened. Inside the Red Ribbon Army's secret base. Trunks and Krillin walked side by side in the spacious passageway, their mouths agape. The Red Ribbon Army is really something else. After all these years, they still have their bases intact, Krillin sighed, turning to Trunks beside him. Trunks, does your world have this base too? I'm not sure, but based on the clues I know, in my world, Dr. Gero discovered the Big Geet star quite early and began developing androids using its technology. Just as Trunks mentioned this, Krillin suddenly screamed. But he quickly chuckled and explained, sorry, something startled me. Krillin kicked the head of a chubby person in front of him. This is Android 19. In my world, we have this model too. According to 16, it should be one of their guards here. Trunks said and then looked inside. I hope the computer devices in there haven't been too damaged by 16 and the others. If we can find some useful information, it might be of help to us. The two continued forward and soon came across a running supercomputer. Trunks was delighted to see it and walked over, taking out a storage device and plugging it into the computer. Mr. Krillin, can you look for the entrance to the underground? I'll copy all the data from this computer. Sure, Krillin replied and continued searching inside. Trunks operated the computer quickly. Suddenly, his actions paused as his gaze fell upon the computer screen, which displayed an introduction about Android 17 and 18. Eternal Energy Source World Core. What is this? Before Trunks could examine it further, Krillin called out to him from the side. Trunks! Over here. Indeed, inside the base, they found a passage leading underground, and in the middle of the passage, Krillin discovered a secret laboratory. The lab wasn't large, but it had everything one needed. Within the lab, another supercomputer was running, with various devices nearby displaying red and green indicator lights. A container filled with green liquid was placed inside, and bubbles kept rising inside it. However, there was nothing else inside the container. Trunks felt around the ground and noticed some stains near the container. He stood up and said, "This should be the place where Cell was born. I never imagined that monster would be born here. Dr. Gero and others are really amazing. Krillin, let's search this place and see if there's any information about Cell." Right. The lab was not big, and Krillin quickly found a stack of documents while Trunks searched the computer for research data related to Cell. However, as Trunks checked the documents Krillin found, he once again noticed a familiar term. World Core. What exactly was this World Core? After taking everything they could carry, the two returned the way they came and left the secret base. Once they were outside, Trunks looked back at the entrance with a cold glint in his eyes. Mr. Krillin, this base is still operational. If someone discovers it, there's no guarantee that new research subjects won't be born. You're right, Krillin nodded. Trunks then fired an energy blast toward the base entrance. With a massive explosion, the entire secret base and the valley it was in turned into flat terrain. Now we can rest assured, Trunks sighed in relief and then returned to lookout with Krillin. When they got back, Bulma was still there. Trunks handed her the storage device containing the data along with the blueprints Krillin had. Mom, this is for you. Maybe you can find weaknesses of the androids and Cell in there. Oh, by the way, Mom, I saw something called World Core mentioned in the data. Maybe you can start from there. World core. Got it, leave it to me. Bulma said confidently after quickly glancing through the data. Shortly after Bulma and the others left, Vegeta finally emerged. Originally full of confidence, ready to give the androids a good beating, he was left dumbfounded by the events that had transpired outside. He began to doubt if the hyperbolic time chamber really operated at a ratio of 1 year inside to 1 day outside. Could this be a mistake? So many things happened in just 1 day. The androids, who were once invincible, were gone, replaced by a creature even more powerful than them. Darn it! What did I miss in this 1 day? No, I have to go back. If Super Saiyan 2 doesn't work, then it'll surpass Super Saiyan 2 as well. Saying that, Vegeta was about to return to the hyperbolic time chamber, but Goku had already taken the spot with Gohan. Darn it! Kakarot. Don't worry, Vegeta. I also have a hyperbolic time chamber here. You can go with Trunks in there, Lin Chen suggested, handing over the one he and Broly had used before. Vegeta, you just had a breakthrough, right? Instead of pursuing higher levels right away, you should stabilize your foundation. When the time comes, let Trunks join you inside, and you two can train together for better results, Lin Chen advised. Alright. As everyone began preparing to face Cell, in the mortal world, Cell, who had covered his tracks, secretly made his way to the outskirts of a city. I never thought another Cell's power would be this strong. To control this power, I need to enhance myself using other powers. Cell's eyes shifted as he noticed the vehicles moving in and out of the city. Human bioenergy, perhaps I should consider it. Cell checked that his aura was hidden and then swiftly flew towards the distant city. Next day, in West City, Bulma was busy in her workshop repairing Android 16. Just as she was deeply engrossed in her work, her mother barged in. Bulma. Something bad has happened. What's wrong, Mom? Can't you see I'm busy? Bulma took off her goggles and asked. Take a look at this. Mrs. Brief handed Bulma a tablet. And with just a glance, Bulma's eyes widened in shock. On the tablet, there was a special news report. Viewers, we interrupt our regular program to bring you an urgent news. Just now, a message confirmed from Central City reveals that the Eastern Continent has lost contact with 15 cities. Royal Defense Army has been sent to investigate these cities, and our station's special correspondent is also rushing to the scene. We believe that shortly, we will be able to provide you with the latest updates. While we await the signal from our correspondent on the front, please allow me to give you a recap of the emergency situation that occurred. Yesterday evening, our station received news that external communications with the 15 cities in the Eastern Continent had been cut off. Phones, faxes, and the internet, nothing could reach the residents of these 15 cities. Even the police stations in these cities have lost contact with the outside world. To uncover the truth behind this matter, His Majesty the King has ordered the army to conduct an investigation, and our reporters have also rushed to one of the cities. Please wait a moment, it seems that our television station's correspondent has already arrived at the scene, and the signal is about to come in. Beep. The television signal suddenly flickered, and then the scene changed. A male reporter appeared in front of the camera, his face pale, and his words trembled as he spoke. Viewers, we are currently in a small town called Jigertown in the Eastern Continent. According to official records, this city has over 100,000 residents, but since we arrived here, I haven't seen a single living person. Yes, it's as if the entire city's population has vanished. We haven't seen a single living soul. In the camera shot, besides the reporter, there were some armed soldiers walking cautiously, aiming their guns at corners from time to time. This continued for several minutes, but they didn't encounter a single person on the road. However, at that moment, a cry of alarm came from afar. Dear viewers, it seems like there's a discovery ahead. Let's hurry over to take a look. The camera started to shake violently as the reporter and the soldiers ran quickly toward the source of the sound. But soon, their running came to a stop. The audience watching the television could only see the distressed and trembling expressions of the reporter. But it was not only the reporter, even the soldiers on the side were trembling as if they were in the freezing Arctic. Oh my God! What's going on? Did some demon attack? The reporter turned his head, and as if he had grabbed the cameraman, he then pointed the camera at the ground. His hysterical voice sounded through the television, "Everyone, take a look. Can anyone tell me what is this?" Bulma's eyes widened suddenly. In front of the camera, there were clothes, shoes, socks, and hats scattered all over the ground, as if someone had once stood there, but they suddenly disappeared, leaving only their belongings behind. Could this be some kind of prank? A voice came from the camera, but a soldier nearby immediately retorted, "Look at this. Which police officer would play a prank using their own gun?" The soldier showed them a set of police clothes with a pistol on the sleeve. "What on earth happened?" Bulma exclaimed. "Bulma, it's scary. Could this be related to that monster called Cell you guys talked about?" Mrs. Brief said fearfully. "Cell?" Bulma paused. "I'm sorry, 16, wait a moment." Bulma left Android 16 on the workbench and hurried to the computer desk, pulling out a stack of blueprints. After a moment, Bulma's eyes widened, and she returned to Android 16 with the blueprints in her hand. 16, could you help me check if this design is for absorbing living beings? Bulma found a blueprint related to Cell's tail function, and there was a description that made her think it was closely related to the current events happening in the Eastern continent. Android 16 lay on the workbench, mechanically scanning the blueprints, then said, "Yes, Cell can convert living beings into bioenergy. It says here that everything on the absorbed person's body will be dissolved and transformed into energy by a special bioenzyme. It's quite similar to what you saw on television just now. But why would Cell still want to absorb bioenergy after absorbing both Android 17 and Android 18? Bulma frowned. Whatever Cell's purpose was, she couldn't just stand by and watch him commit evil deeds, right? He had already killed hundreds of thousands of lives overnight. Feeling that she couldn't ignore this, Bulma once again piloted her aircraft and flew directly to Lookout, informing everyone about the situation. However, when she arrived on Lookout, both Lin Chen and Broly had already left Earth to continue their training on Planet Vegeta. Among the remaining people, there was no one who was confident enough to take on Cell. To make matters worse, Cell's ability to hide was incredibly good, even Piccolo, using Kame's magic, couldn't find any trace of Cell. Just as everyone was in a state of fear and anxiety, 2 days passed. During these 2 days, the number of cities attacked by Cell had exceeded 50, and over 2 million people had disappeared. Such casualties caused panic among the human world. Rumors of a man-eating monster spread rapidly in the mortal world, and public order deteriorated with an increase in incidents of rioting and robbery. The high-ranking officials of Central City's government were in a panic and had no way to control the current situation. But just then, after staying hidden for a long time, Cell suddenly appeared in the open. However, his appearance cast a shadow of fear over the entire Earth. On this day, Bulma once again flew to Lookout in her aircraft. As soon as she landed, Piccolo complained, "Bulma, if you keep flying around recklessly like this, be careful or you'll have Mr. Popo open the barrier of Lookout." "Never mind that for now. Look, Cell is on TV again." Bulma jumped out of the aircraft holding a satellite television and pointed at the screen in panic. "What? How did Cell get on TV? What on earth is happening?" All the people on Lookout who hadn't entered the hyperbolic time chamber rushed out and gathered in front of the television. On the television screen, Cell easily killed the security personnel of the television station and then confessed to being the true culprit behind the attacks on multiple cities for the past few days. "I'm very grateful for the life essence provided by those humans, but you can rest assured now, I no longer need to absorb human life. In addition, I have some good news for all of you. In 4 days, I will hold a martial arts tournament called the Cell Games, and I will accept challenges from the world's strongest. Cell Games? The people in front of the television were stunned. At this moment, Cell on the television continued. The venue for the tournament will be located at 28ks.5 in the northwest. The arena will be prepared soon, and I welcome all of you to attend. The rules of the Cell Games are the same as the previous World Martial Arts Tournament. If you fall out of the arena or are killed by your opponent, you lose. The only difference is that your opponent will be me alone. Next, let's talk about the rewards for this tournament. If any of you can win, congratulations, Earth will be spared. But if everyone loses, I will kill every person in the world and watch your terrified expressions as I completely destroy this planet. Those who are confident, come and participate, okay? As Cell's words fell, he raised his hand and instantly destroyed half of a city outside the TV station building. This guy is insane. Does he really want to kill everyone? Tien Shinhan exclaimed in disbelief. Is he confident that he can defeat Lin Chen? The last Cell was clearly beaten so badly by Lin Chen. Krillin clenched his fists tightly. He'll also enter the hyperbolic time chamber. When Goku and the others come out, it'll be my turn. This is bad. I wonder if the Earth can hold on for 4 more days. With the current situation, humanity might be wiped out even before the Cell Games end. Yamcha despaired, holding his head. After Cell's live broadcast ended, the television station began to broadcast the current situation in various places. It seemed that Cell's declaration had caused even more chaos in the human world. People had begun evacuating from large cities and fleeing to rural areas. In West City, there was a surge of refugees seeking shelter. The fear in people's hearts, which had been ignited by the previously unknown monster, had now been completely ignited by Cell's appearance, and then the raging fire of fear spread quickly and was soon out of control. Seeing the scene on the television, Krillin couldn't help but say to Bulma, "Bulma, shouldn't you go and bring your family? Bring them to Lookout, it's safer here." "It's okay. There's only my mom at home now. Dad and Trunks are with my sister on Planet Vegeta." "Huh?" Bulma suddenly paused, and everyone also looked at the television in surprise. At this moment, the television signal suddenly switched to a press conference scene. In the scene, besides the king standing solemnly in front of the camera, there was also a figure that looked familiar to everyone. This person, where have I seen him before? Bulma rubbed her eyes. Yeah, where? Krillin scratched his head. At the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, he's the champion Mark, Piccolo said. Ah! It's him. Everyone suddenly realized. Wasn't this the champion of the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament? He seemed to have changed his name. Viewers. We've just received some exciting news. At this moment, a host suddenly appeared in front of the camera and said excitedly, "Just now, our previous World Martial Arts Tournament's champion, the hero, Mr. Satan, has announced that he will participate in the Cell Games and challenge Cell." On the screen, Satan exaggeratedly demonstrated some martial arts moves, then sneered at the camera, "People of Earth, don't worry. As long as I, Satan, am here, Cell will never win." Mr. Satan, how do you view the scene where Cell destroyed half of a city? Are you confident that you can handle such a monster? Humph. Satan scoffed, that was just a trick. He had already planted explosives there. In my eyes, he doesn't even understand the basics of martial arts. Look. This is real martial arts. After saying that, Satan suddenly threw out a capsule which contained neatly stacked tiles. In front of the camera, Satan roared and split all 15 tiles with one palm. Ha ha ha. Look. This will be Cell's fate in 4 days. Satan laughed at the camera, but he hid his swollen right hand behind his back. Krillin slapped his own face, this Satan is still the same. At least it seems like he's improved a bit compared to before, right? Yamcha grinned. Regarding how Satan won the championship at the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, Lin Chen had already revealed the truth to everyone, so they knew that Satan had relied on Lin Chen's power back then. But that's good. At least Satan's fame has increased a lot, and with him present, the situation below should calm down a bit, right? Bulma said. At this moment, after Satan's speech, the king also made a statement. Besides thanking Satan for his bravery, the king also announced that he had already requested support from the Galactic Federation, and they had responded that they would send warriors to Earth in 4 days to punish Cell. Therefore, the king earnestly asked the citizens not to worry and panic. Everything was under control. As soon as the king's words fell, Satan from the side exclaimed, "Your Majesty, there's no need to seek help from the aliens. The safety of Earth should be protected by us Earthlings ourselves. Dear citizens, watch me. I will definitely defeat that pretentious guy. I'll show him that humans are invincible." Roar. Even without looking at the ordinary people's reactions outside, the media reporters at the press conference shouted excitedly. In cities around the world, where people had been evacuating, the people were filled with courage because of Satan's words, and the global turmoil seemed to be calming down. This Satan is really quite something. As they sighed at Satan's thick-skinned nature, they suddenly heard Lin Chen's voice from behind them. They turned around and saw Lin Chen appearing with a small Namekian behind him. Krillin stared at the small Namekian for a while before finally recognizing him. "You're Dend?" "Krillin. Miss Bulma. It's been a while." "Oh, and Mr. Piccolo." Dend said politely. Nodding at Dend, Piccolo asked, "Mr. Lin Chen, what's going on?" "Broly doesn't want to become Kami, so I found a successor for you." Lin Chen smiled and slowly explained what had happened. As it turned out, after knowing that Cell was preparing to hold the Cell Games, Lin Chen was initially shocked, but then he realized that he seemed to have a chance to earn a lot of time points. So, he went to the new planet Namek, just like Goku did in the original work, and invited Den to become the Earth's new Kami. This way, on the one hand, they could revive Earth's Shenron, and on the other hand, Lin Chen was not surprised to hear the system prompt notifying him that he had earned time points when he brought Den to Earth. A few days later, Cell Games venue. In the northwest of Central City, 28 KS.5, this little-known place had now attracted the attention of the whole world because of a special tournament. A square arena with a side length of 100 meters had appeared here at some point, and at each of the 4 corners of the arena stood a pointed stone pillar. Cell, the host of the arena, had been standing there with his eyes closed for a while. At a distance of 1 kilometer from the arena, a reporter and his cameraman were cautiously hiding behind a rock. The camera was focused on Cell, transmitting the live footage of the match to the whole world. Dear viewers, the Cell Games will begin in less than 15 minutes, but there is no one else here except us. Wait, I see a car. It looks like our great hero, Mr. Satan, is here. A luxurious elongated car approached from a distance and finally stopped next to the arena. Satan, dressed in a cloak, got out of the car in a flamboyant manner. Wow! It's really Mr. Satan. He's here as promised. The reporter saw the person clearly and shouted excitedly. His voice caught Satan's attention, and he immediately raised his right hand and gestured with his index finger. Dear viewers, Mr. Satan seems to be inviting us over. In that case we absolutely cannot lose to Mr. Satan. Dear viewers, our most courageous journalist and cameraman in the world is about to bring you the closest view of the Cell Games. The reporter and his cameraman approached Satan with excitement and soon arrived by his side. The reporter immediately raised his microphone and began the interview. Mr. Satan, what are your thoughts on this match? Satan put his hands on his hips and arrogantly said, "Humph. I've already said what I think about this match. Cell has no idea that there's someone as strong as me in this world. In front of me, he won't even have time to regret. Rest assured, I will be the one to decide Cell's fate. Fool. Of course, Cell heard Satan's words, but he only glanced at him with complete disdain. Mr. Satan, although I believe that Cell will definitely die at your hands, I heard from the Central City spokesperson that the Galactic Federation has agreed to send warriors to deal with Cell. What do you think about this? Oh, you mean those aliens? It's a good thing that they are willing to help. I don't mind it at all. But let me tell you all, the one who will kill Cell in the end is me. The revenge of the Earthlings will be carried out by the Earthlings. Satan put his hands on his hips and said boastfully in front of the camera. And Satan's confidence set the world abuzz. Satan, Satan. Mr. Satan, you must stand up for the people of Earth. Go, Satan. Eliminate that evil demon. Every street and alley was filled with cheers from the crowd. They were all excited, laughing and cheering, as if they had forgotten all their fears. At this moment, the on-site reporters suddenly looked up to the sky. Even Cell, who had been motionless all this time, turned his head to look in that direction. Goku, huh? You have finally arrived. Cell smiled faintly. More than a dozen figures descended from the sky. Goku and Vegeta, among others, had arrived as scheduled and stood on the other side of the arena. Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Humph, even Android 16 and Android 18 from Lin Chen's side have come. But where's Lin Chen? Counting the people who had arrived, Cell looked puzzled. Among the people present, only the few Saiyans and Piccolo deserved his attention. The rest, like Krillin, androids, and others, were just supporting roles to the main characters. However, the most important main character was missing from the crowd, Lin Chen, and the one who had once fought with another Cell, Broly. Why were these two absent? At this moment, the on-site reporter and cameraman was dumbfounded when they saw the people descending from the sky. The reporter immediately almost shoved the microphone into Satan's mouth. Mr. Satan. Did you see that just now? How did those people fly down from the sky? I saw it, Satan casually replied, nothing strange about that. They should be the aliens that Central City mentioned. Since they are aliens, it's normal for them to fly, right? They must have some high-tech anti-gravity devices. You saw the light on their bodies just now, that should be the device at work. Oh, that's how it is. The reporter nodded like a chick pecking at rice. Then he asked, Mr. Satan, since even people from the Galactic Federation have come, are you planning to go first, or will you let them make the first move? They came all the way here, so, of course, you'll let them make the first move. The ace is always saved for the last moment, isn't it? I see. Satan took the microphone and shouted to Goku and the others in the distance, hey! Friends who came from afar. I'm leaving the vanguard position to you. Perform well. Mr. Satan, this microphone is for recording, there's no speaker. Huh? That idiot Satan, he really came. Krillin was speechless. If he wants to die, just let him. We can always use the Dragon Balls to resurrect him later, Piccolo scoffed. Trunks, however, looked at Satan with a strange expression. I see that Mr. is very confident. Could he really have something up his sleeve? Trunks' words immediately evoked disdain and laughter from the others. However, they had no idea that Satan indeed had a reason for his confidence. Hee, everything is just as that Mr. said. These people have indeed come. As long as I follow his instructions, everything should be fine, right? In Satan's mind, he couldn't help but recall an evening a few days ago when a figure had broken into his house and made a deal with him. As long as he followed the instructions given to him, he would not only survive the Cell games safely, but he might even become a hero of all humanity again. In fact, no matter how confident Satan appeared at the press conference that day, he was actually forced into it. Within the Central City, some people didn't want to rely too much on the support provided by the Galactic Federation and insisted on sending human participants to the Cell games. Therefore, Satan, who had once won the World Martial Arts Tournament and mistakenly became a hero during Cooler's invasion, was forced into the press conference and became a participant of the Cell Games. However, Satan knew very well that Cell meant business. If he were to truly fight Cell, he would undoubtedly die. Fortunately, just as Satan was feeling desperate and even considered undergoing plastic surgery and changing his identity, a person suddenly approached him and offered to help. That person was Lin Chen. "Mr. Satan. What's going on? How can these people not only fly but also shoot lasers?" Running far away and hiding behind a hill, the dedicated reporter immediately handed the microphone to Satan. Satan's legs were trembling, but when he saw the microphone placed near his mouth, he coughed and replied, Don't panic. It's technology. Advanced technology. These aliens are desecrating martial arts. They're using high-tech weapons. Don't worry, when I step onto the arena, it'll definitely expose their shameless behavior." At this time, although Trunks came to help, Cell's energy blast still maintained a stable speed as it approached them. "Trunks, get away from here." Vegeta supported himself while yelling. "No, Dad. I absolutely can't just stay by and watch. You fool, this is my battle alone. No, it's ours." Just then, a voice rang out from beside the two. "Kamehameha." Vegeta turned his head and saw that Goku had also come to his side. Like him, Goku had also transformed into Super Saiyan 2. The aura emanating from Goku's body even slightly surpassed Vegeta's. Kakarot. Before Vegeta could speak, another golden figure jumped in. Kamehameha. It was Gohan. Like Goku, he had also transformed into a Super Saiyan 2. Vegeta felt both angry and anxious. Is this a Super Saiyan 2 clearance sale or something? After all this time, it turns out everyone can transform into Super Saiyan 2. But even with the combined power of 4 Super Saiyan 2, they still can't defeat Cell. As the 4 fierce energies collided with Cell's energy blast, the earth began to tremble. Yet, even so, Cell's energy blast continued its advance, though slightly slower than before. Darn it, this Cell is a monster. Piccolo's body shook along with Earth. He wiped the sweat from his face, his body emanating a red light as he joined the fray. Explosive Demon Light Cannon. With Piccolo's power added, the energy blast finally halted. But at this moment, a smirk appeared on Cell's lips. Oh, should I finally get serious now? The next second, Cell's aura trembled slightly, and a golden aura erupted out from his body. In an instant, a terrifying aura spread out, overwhelming everything. Before this aura, the people present felt as if they were facing an ancient behemoth, sensing a vastness akin to staring into an endless starry sky. They seemed to be on a tiny boat adrift in an endless ocean, where even the slightest movement of the ocean could smash their bodies into pieces. This aura was so immense that even Satan and the others, who couldn't sense auras, suddenly found themselves unable to move. The aura was so immense that even those who couldn't sense auras, like Mr. Satan and others, suddenly found themselves unable to move. Even ordinary people were affected, and those. This is Cell's aura. Yamcha plopped down on the ground. Next to him, Krillin was gasping heavily and kneeling on the ground. Their confidence had completely vanished. Dad! Cell is too strong, we can't hold on anymore. Among the 5 who were directly confronting Cell, Gohan was the first to be overwhelmed, his face turning pale in an instant. Shortly after, Piccolo, who had forcibly raised his power level with Kaioken, also reached his limit. Under the increased aura of Cell, everyone's energy blasts were rapidly being pushed back. In desperation, Goku shouted loudly. Grab onto me, all of you. Saying this, Goku executed instant transmission several times in a very short period, teleporting Gohan and the others to the ground. Just as he pulled Vegeta away, Cell's energy blast shot up into the sky like a beam of light, narrowly missing them. When the dust settled, everyone felt as if they had been pulled from the water, drenched in cold sweat from head to toe. Kakarot, why did you save me? UBA**tard. Vegeta rushed to Goku and grabbed his clothes, cursing in rage. Dad! Trunks rushed over and finally managed to pull Vegeta away. But even after being pulled back, Vegeta's face was filled with unwillingness. He knelt down on the ground with his fists clenched, his hair had already changed from golden to black. We can't win, we can't defeat Cell. Humph. In the arena, Cell gave a cold snort upon hearing Vegeta's words. He walked to the edge of the arena, looking at the exhausted Goku and the others, and sneered, "You're giving up already? Let me tell you the truth, what you just experienced was only half of my full strength." What? That was only half. Yes, half. In my eyes, dealing with you all doesn't even require half of my strength. Even if Lin Chen was here, I wouldn't need to use my full power against him. Power of laws. Divine domain. They're worthless in the face of absolute power. Now, I am the strongest in the multiverse. Ha ha ha. Amidst the laughter, seemingly to show off his power, Cell's aura surged once again. This aura, even more terrifying than before, disrupted the gravity, making nearby rocks float. Even Satan and the others lost control and floated into the air. Wah! Mr. Satan, what's going on again? It's technology. It's all high-tech. This. As Satan and the others were shouting in confusion, suddenly, a figure appeared beside them and pulled them back to the ground. Satan looked up and was stunned because the person who appeared was the one he had made an agreement with that day. Lin Chen. Lin Chen placed his hand on Satan's head and infused him with his aura. In an instant, Satan felt as if he had become immensely powerful. Mr. Satan, stay hidden here. Okay. Satan suddenly realized that he no longer seemed to be affected by the strange force from earlier. He held on to the two reporters and nodded at Lin Chen. Next, Lin Chen took a step forward and instantly appeared in front of Cell. Cell, I'm here. Boom. A terrifying aura rapidly expanded and spread out. Unimaginable power erupted out from Lin Chen, causing a terrifying shockwave that resonated through the surrounding void. Lin Chen's body instantly swelled, transforming into legendary Super Saiyan 2 form. Then, a trace of red appeared in his aura, Super Kaioken. In that instant, the powers of Lin Chen and Cell seemed to turn into tangible energy, violently colliding. An extremely ear-piercing sound followed, as the two energies clashed and annihilated each other in a frenzy of horror. Facing Lin Chen and Cell's clash of auras, everyone around them had a drastic change in their expressions, continuously retreating without daring to get close. Such terrifying strength. If we hadn't strengthened the Earth with Shenron's wish, just the auras of these two would have destroyed Earth, right? Krillin said with a grim expression. Vegeta's face also looked very unpleasant as he tightly clenched his fists. Damn it, we have worked so hard, then why is there still such a huge gap between us and His Majesty? Vegeta, we can never stop for a moment and must keep chasing Brother Lin Chen's footsteps. If we slack off even a bit, he will leave us far behind, and we won't even see his shadow, Goku said with a serious expression. Humph. I don't need you to remind me. Turning their attention to the arena that Cell had created was already reduced to dust under the clash of their auras. Cell snorted, and his aura blew away all the dust. Lin Chen, there's no need to limit our fight within the arena. Let's determine the winner with our lives at stake. Alright, Lin Chen replied indifferently. Seeing him calm and composed, Cell sneered, humph. Lin Chen, you are no longer my match now. That's right, in terms of aura, I'm slightly inferior to you for now. But so what? Upon hearing this, Cell sneered coldly and said, are you talking about power of laws? I have seen your battle with that other Cell. Yes, your so-called power of laws is indeed extraordinary, and even now, I still can't fully comprehend it. However, I have figured out a way to break your power of laws. Cell's face was brimming with confidence. I've seen through it. Whatever power of laws it may be, as long as there's absolute power, even if it's power of laws, I can break it. And now, I possess absolute power. Suddenly, Cell's tone changed, and his aura surged once again, rising rapidly. What? Cell's aura is rising again. Is he not using his full power yet? Ah! The sudden eruption of aura created a new storm on the scene, causing the weaker individuals like Krillin to lose their footing and fly out. Even Satan, who had received aura assistance from Lin Chen earlier, couldn't hold on any longer and flew into the sky while carrying the two reporters. Oh no! Trunks, go save Tien Shinhan. I'll cover Yamcha. Vegeta, go help Krillin. Gohan, go help Satan and the others. Got it. The group immediately split up to rescue people. Gohan successfully saved Satan and the two reporters. Thank you, young man. Satan gratefully shook Gohan's hand. Are you a Galactic Federation warrior? I have a daughter who is around your age. Do you want to meet her? Huh. Gohan's eyes widened, unsure how to respond. At that moment, a cry for help came from afar from Krillin. Vegeta hadn't gone to rescue anyone. Krillin. Goku turned pale from fright and was about to go save him when someone flew over from distance and caught him. Broly? Mr. Krillin, are you okay? I'm fine. With Broly's help, everyone gathered together in one place. Meanwhile, Cell's aura was still rising. So frightening. This Cell is probably several times stronger than the previous Cell. Broly, can you go help Lin Chen? Facing the panicked crowd, Broly said, hold on for a moment. Although Cell is powerful, Brother Link's is also no longer the same as before. At this point, Cell's power had reached an incredibly terrifying level, and at the same time, astonishing changes were occurring in his body. Even Lin Chen's pupils contracted upon seeing it. Before him, Cell's entire skin color had undergone a tremendous transformation. It was as if his body had been coated with a layer of dark golden paint, and his whole body emitted a strange radiance. Finally, Cell's aura stopped expanding, and his entire body had completely transformed into a dark golden color. Ha ha ha. Lin Chen, do you see this? I'm now extremely powerful. And this is my most perfect ultimate form. The previous Cell called himself Silver Cell, then I am Golden Cell. Cell burst into maniacal laughter, and his body emitted dark golden energy that seemed tangible, akin to burning flames. The surrounding space distorted under the intense heat. Golden Cell. Lin Chen's gaze focused, realizing that Cell's current appearance had far exceeded his expectations. In his memory, in the original work, after Frieza's resurrection from Hell, he transformed into a golden form through rigorous training. Surprisingly, Cell could also achieve this. This was probably due to the complete activation of the Frost Demon cells within his body. In the original work, Golden Frieza's power level even surpassed that of Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Now, although Cell is not yet on par with the Frieza from the original work, his current power level has far surpassed that of Lin Chen, even surpassing the previous Silver Cell by several times. After the power increase, Cell's sharp eyes locked onto Lin Chen, and he coldly snorted. Die, Lin Chen. In the next instant, Cell disappeared from his position. Instant transmission. Lin Chen didn't hesitate and also used instant transmission to try to evade the attack. But in the next moment, there was a thunderous boom. Unimaginable power erupted on the ground where both of them disappeared. Cell grabbed Lin Chen from the void, forcibly pulling him out of instant transmission. Time skip. Facing Cell's next attack, Lin Chen didn't hesitate and used time skip. However, the previously unbreakable time skip did not work this time. Cell's punch collided with Lin Chen's body. With a loud bang, Lin Chen was sent crashing into the ground, and in the blink of an eye, a massive area of terrain was completely changed, leaving behind a large crater-like pit. Lin Chen! Everyone exclaimed in shock, witnessing Lin Chen getting overwhelmed for the first time. How is this possible? Teacher's power of laws didn't work. Trunks exclaimed in alarm. Goku's expression turned extremely serious. Cell is right, his power has surpassed the restraint of power of laws. The disparity between their strengths is too great. If even Lin Chen can't do it, does it mean that Earth is really going to be destroyed this time? Krillin said in deep frustration, holding his head. How could that be? How could Lin Chen lose? Lazuli clenched her fists tightly and turned to Broly nearby. Broly, won't you go help Lin Chen? You're probably the only one here who can help him. But to everyone's surprise, Broly shook his head. You don't need to panic too much, Brother Lynx has not used his full strength yet. What? Even Trunks couldn't help but exclaim. Lin Chen hasn't used his full strength yet. But he could clearly feel that Lin Chen had already exerted all of his strength. How could he still not have used his full strength? Could it be? Watching Lin Chen stuck in the crater and not appearing even after some time, Golden Cell burst into wild laughter. Ha ha ha. Lin Chen. Do you see? Even if it's the power of a god, it doesn't matter as long as there's absolute power. I can still trample anyone under my foot. Just as Cell was laughing triumphantly, suddenly, a foot trampled on his face. What are you laughing at? Who's trampling who under their foot? A fierce blow knocked Cell down from midair. Next to the enormous crater that Lin Chen came out from just now, another new crater appeared instantly. Lying in the crater, Cell was completely dumbfounded. What happened just now? What did Lin Chen do? How could he still kick me down even though I have reached this level? Boom! A pile of rubble suddenly shot out of the giant crater. Cell gritted his teeth and floated up from the crater, looking at Lin Chen with a face full of anger. Lin Chen! I'll kill you! A dense energy gathered in Cell's palm as he raised his hand before sending out a blast wave. The blast wave was almost identical to the one that had defeated Vegeta and the others just now. But this time, the blast wave's power was 100 times stronger than before. Even Goku and the others, who were far away, could feel the immense power in this blast wave and exclaimed in alarm. Be careful. Quick, dodge it. However, contrary to everyone's expectations, Lin Chen didn't make any moves and just watched indifferently as Cell's blast wave approached him. But just then, the blast wave suddenly vanished into thin air. What? Cell's eyes widened. He hadn't even seen what happened just now. What did you do? Cell suddenly realized that Lin Chen's appearance seemed to have changed. Lin Chen now looked more like his normal state self rather than the legendary Super Saiyan form from before, except for his hair. What was even more astonishing was that Lin Chen's aura seemed to have disappeared, and there was only a faint and elusive glow around him. Because of Cell's own overwhelming power, he hadn't noticed the change in Lin Chen's aura earlier. Now, seeing Lin Chen like this, he felt something was very strange. Not just Cell, even Goku and the others from afar felt the same. What's going on with teacher? How did he return to his normal state? Trunks exclaimed. Idiot, Trunks, take a closer look. Isn't there something strange around His Majesty's body? Could it be some new transformation? Vegeta said. Goku scratched his head. That's not right, why can't I sense Brother Lin Chen's aura? Really? Upon hearing Goku's words, they also realized that they couldn't sense Lin Chen's aura anymore. Confirming this, Vegeta's eyes widened, and he turned to Broly beside him. Broly, could His Majesty have become a Super Saiyan God? Super Saiyan God. As a resident of Planet Vegeta, Vegeta naturally knew what that meant. Not to mention his younger brother Tarbal could also achieve this transformation. And now, Lin Chen's appearance was very similar to that of a Super Saiyan god. The immense power, the aura that couldn't be sensed, and except for the fact that his hair didn't turn red like Tarbal and the others, all the other features were extremely similar to the legendary Super Saiyan god. Broly shook his head. This is the Super Saiyan God realm exclusive to Brother Link's. He calls this state Black God. But he said his current form is not perfect yet, so it can only be considered a half-step Black God. That's right, Lin Chen's current form is the preliminary Super Saiyan God. After Broly's mission was completed, Lin Chen finally mastered the elementary power of creation. Combined with the elementary power of destruction he obtained from defeating the previous Silver Cell, as well as comprehending the elementary power of time from Supreme Kai of Time, the three power of laws merged within him, allowing him to break through once again and enter the divine realm. However, Lin Chen still lacked the power of space, so the power of laws was not complete. Therefore, he was still a bit away from achieving his true transformation into a god and could only be considered a half-step Black God. A half-step Black God? What nonsense! Cell's eyes turned crimson, refusing to believe that with his current power, he couldn't defeat a transformation that couldn't even be sensed. Lin Chen, prepare to die. A real battle erupted at this moment. First, energy bullets were sent ferociously toward Lin Chen, and each energy bullet had the power to destroy the earth. Then, Cell followed these energy bullets, attacking towards Lin Chen. Bang! 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 Fierce fluctuations reverberated in the sky, and the onlookers were left stunned, feeling somewhat unable to comprehend what they were witnessing. Golden Cell's strength was undoubtedly tremendous. Whether it was speed or power, even if Goku and the others had faced it, they probably wouldn't have been able to last more than 3 moves. However, under the same circumstances, Lin Chen seemed to handle it with ease, fully anticipating Cell's every move. How did he do it? They are all Super Saiyan gods, but His Majesty's strength is much greater than Tarbal and the others. Vegeta sighed. Vegeta, is this the realm above Super Saiyan 2? The disparity is too huge. Goku said helplessly. Boom! Once again, just as Cell's seemingly unavoidable attack was about to hit, Lin Chen preemptively punched Cell in the face. Under the tremendous force, it was as if the space had trembled. Cell's head actually exploded, and his body was sent flying from the tremendous power. However, after Cell's body stabilized, the muscles on its neck began to squirm. With a splash, Cell's head grew back again along with green liquid. This was the power of Namekian bloodline, regeneration of severed limbs. After Cell's head regenerated, his eyes became bloodshot, and he was starting to lose his rationality. Is it that time trick again? Lin Chen smiled faintly. Yes, it seems that our strength gap is not that big now. You can no longer brute force your way to break my techniques. Damn it. But I'm not done yet. Lin Chen, I thought I could defeat you with my current strength, but it seems I was being delusional. Cell let out a sinister laughter. His words made Lin Chen furrow his brows. What? Do you still have hidden strength? Do you have other Cell to absorb? Lin Chen said a sentence that made Cell suddenly burst into laughter. Lin Chen, have you forgotten that I was born in this world? When my creator designed me, he collected cells from the strongest in this world. Among them, besides the Frost Demon cells, there are also Saiyan cells. Guess whose Saiyan cells I absorbed? Lin Chen's gaze sharpened. Besides Kakarot and Vegeta, your and Broly's bloodlines were also incorporated into my body. Cell shouted. Your and Broly's bloodline were also incorporated into my body. Just as Cell's voice fell. Rumble. Layers of dark clouds suddenly covered the sky from somewhere, and lightning bolts flashed out from the clouds, striking the ground. Amidst the thunder and lightning, Cell's body suddenly grew larger, and a bright green aura began to emanate from him. Moreover, at this moment, Cell's power level unexpectedly surpassed 10 billion. Lin Chen's gaze couldn't help but become more serious. He had forgotten that this cell was created in his world, and their cells were somehow collected by Dr. Gero. While other cells might be fine, Lin Chen and Broly's blood carried the legendary Super Saiyan bloodline, containing terrifying potential. And now, Cell had gained control of that potential too. Ha ha ha. Lin Chen, prepare to die. Cell launched another attack, and this time, Lin Chen's elementary power of time seems to have started losing its effect. Both time skip and the time prison seem to have almost no effect on Cell. Cell's fist struck Lin Chen's body for the first time. Bang! 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 The sound of their intense battle was terrifyingly loud. Every time their fists and feet collided, people all over the earth could hear the resounding booms. At the scene, every collision caused shockwaves akin to clashes of energy blasts. Everyone, retreat quickly. This type of battle is no longer something we can endure at close range. Broly shouted as he transformed into Super Saiyan, creating an energy shield in front of Goku and the others. At that moment, an energy bullet suddenly came from afar and collided with Broly's energy shield. With a sound of explosion, Broly grunted, and a trace of blood appeared at the corners of his mouth. If even Broly was affected like this, one could only imagine the consequences if that energy bullet had hit someone else. Seeing this, the others didn't hesitate and immediately prepared to leave. Cell, in the midst of the battle, caught sight of this and focused his gaze on Lazuli among the crowd, a cold look flashing in his eyes. After evading Lin Chen's punch, Cell said, "Lin Chen, you're undoubtedly strong, but if I absorb another android, my power will surely surpass yours completely." What? Lin Chen was taken aback for a moment, then turned and shouted to Goku and the others who hadn't left yet, "Get away from here." But just as he finished speaking, Cell suddenly teleported next to the group, extending his golden tail towards Lazuli among the group. He actually intended to absorb Lazuli too. Lazuli's true identity was Android 18, and she also possessed an eternal power source within her body. If Cell absorbed her as well, his power level might truly grow to a point where even Lin Chen couldn't handle him. No. Everyone, retreat. In that instant, Broly stepped forward, transforming into full-power Super Saiyan and confronting Cell. At this moment, Broly's power level had surpassed 5 billion, making him the most powerful among the group. However, even then, Cell sent Broly flying with a punch. Though Broly immediately stabilized himself and instantly increased his strength through the effect of legendary Super Saiyan bloodline, an opening had already appeared, and Cell's tail was about to engulf Lazuli. "After fusing with you, I will become the true #1 in the universe." Cell laughed. But at this moment, a figure suddenly appeared in front of Lazuli. "Cell! How dare you?" Lin Chen's face turned unusually grim. A fist carrying purple-black energy suddenly punched towards Cell's tail. Whoosh! Although the punch didn't hit Cell directly, for some reason, Cell's tail began to disintegrate. And this disintegration seemed to spread like a disease, from his tail to all the way to his body. What's happening?" Cell exclaimed as he cut off his own tail. Looking at the tail that had completely vanished in front of him, leaving no trace of any cells behind, Cell turned his gaze back to Lin Chen's fist. Staring at the dark energy surrounding Lin Chen's fist, Cell's eyes widened. What power is this? Why is it like this? Cell, do you know about the God of Destruction? God of Destruction? This is the power of destruction belonging to God of Destruction. At this moment, Cell suddenly felt like he was being stared at by a monstrous beast. He knew very well that if Lin Chen's punch had hit him just now, he might have died for real. This power was too mysterious, pure destruction power that could ignore the difference in power level. Without any hesitation, Cell tried to escape by using instant transmission, his target being a location outside Earth. But just as Cell was about to use instant transmission, Lin Chen's figure appeared in front of him. Destruction. Lifting his palm, a burst of power of destruction exploded directly on Cell's body. An eerie sound rang out, and an unseen force instantly crushed Cell. This power pierced through Cell's body, fell on the ground, and even directly annihilated the land behind him. Seeing this, Lin Chen quickly withdrew this power. It was the first time he had used power of destruction in actual combat, and he didn't expect it to be so powerful. No wonder, in the original work, although the strength of the god of destruction varied, in battle, no matter which universe's god of destruction it was, they were very restrained in using power of destruction. Presumably, it was because this power was so formidable that it needed to be restrained. One power of destruction became an insurmountable gap between god of destruction and mortals. After the commotion settled, Cell looked like a funnel, covered in wounds all over his body. Be *****. Lin Chen, you be *****. Despite almost being killed by this attack, Cell quickly began to recover. And after recovering, the legendary Super Saiyan cells within him erupted out again, causing Cell's power level to soar once more. This time, it was probably over 12 billion. Sensing this terrifying power, even Lin Chen was stunned. He didn't expect Cell to be like an unkillable cockroach, only growing stronger and stronger. With the Namekian bloodline, the Frost Demon's vitality, and the bloodline of legendary Super Saiyan that grows stronger with each challenge, this Cell has almost surpassed everything. He has truly become the ultimate android. Sensing Lin Chen's momentary distraction, Cell's counterattack plan was ready in an instant. Lin Chen, you can't defeat me. Fully restored, Cell suddenly erupted with tremendous energy, which quickly concentrated in his hands. Kamehameha. The next moment, with a loud shout, Cell teleported in front of Lin Chen, and a terrifying energy beam struck Lin Chen.